whistling down the sky. I've got a song, I've got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the babies cry. I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. But they can't change me. I've got a dream, I've got a dream. Oh, I know I could share it if you want me to. If you're going my way, I'll go with you. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by.
Each year, they schedule this game on a Friday night to get the gym packed because of the excitement and rivalry these two teams have. Tonight's matchup is a doubleheader that features the Vermillion Tangers and the Lennox Orioles. It's great to have you along exclusively tonight here on Vermillion Streaming. This is the Core Insurance pregame show. Your local Core Insurance agents, Debbie Profrock and Russell Olson, are proud supporters of Vermillion Athletics and sponsors of tonight's broadcast. Things don't get much better than this, besides maybe having this game on a Friday night, which allows more fans to get to it before heading into the weekend. But as we headed into this weekend, looking already on Monday, that pending weather on Friday, this game has been moved to tonight. And historically, in the past 4 years now, this game has been flexed several different times because of weather, but still great to get it in here on this January 13th. It's a big implication for both games. The Vermillion girls, they continue this tough stretch. Night, which now their fourth game in the past 6 days. You could also say even 3 games in the past 4 days, with the only day off the girls had was yesterday. And for the Vermillion boys, it means oh so much inside the region. Again, you hate to throw out the word a must-win game, but the way Region 4 is stacking up currently, it is a logjam at the top, with Dakota Valley right now tightening their grip on first place. But after that, it is certainly a shuffle between second, third, fourth, and even fifth position inside the region. In fact, taking a quick looking at the standings, T holds on to the second position at 5-2 and just over 44 seed points. In third place right now, it's Lennox, slightly behind T area at 44.125. In fact, it's 0.018 that separates Lennox and T from second to third. After that, it's the Vermillion Tangers, and following behind them is Elk Point Jefferson, who is 5-2 on their season. And if you don't know this matchup tonight for the Vermillion Boys and the Lennox Orioles, Lennox tonight is 7-1 and Vermillion 5-1 on their season. In fact, you have to go back to a couple years ago when Vermillion Boys last played here inside this high school, when it was a last-second winner for Vermillion inside the region playoffs, as Vermillion, that 4 seed, knocked off the 1 seed Lennox Orioles to make it to the Sodak 16. Lennox took down a year ago where they had to make that transition, losing a lot of key players and bringing a lot of younger guys up to the varsity level. As I mentioned, they took a step back, but this year, those younger guys are now a whole lot more experienced and showing just how talented they are. And for the Vermillion Boys, certainly a must-prove-it game after they are looking to find a big victory inside the region. They lost to T area already, but they need this bounce-back game tonight against Lennox. Otherwise, Vermillion might be jockeying for about that 4th or 5th position inside the region. Once again, I'm Heath Nimke, our video producer, Jen Ashley. This game is exclusively on Vermillion streaming tonight due to USD women's basketball. It will not be carried on ESPN radio. As we also talk about it being a doubleheader, the Vermillion girls, it has been a tough stretch. It has been a busy stretch, but coming with a lot of smiles, including 3 straight victories for the Vermillion girls. They find themselves right now second inside the region at 7-2, right behind Dakota Valley, who took their first loss of the season. And as we approach that halfway mark, it's getting very tight towards the top as well. Vermillion needs to continue to find wins if they want to remain in second inside the region, with T area quickly climbing. Remember going back to last week where T area had only won 1 game. They've gotten 3 straight now and find themselves 4-5. For the Lennox Orioles, this has been a girls team that has been extremely talented the past couple of years, but some big girls have graduated from their squad, and they continue to work and try to find their identity so far this season. Coming into tonight's contest, the Lennox Orioles sitting at 4-5 overall, and looking at inside the region, they're sitting in 6th out of the 8 teams. And looking at this comparison of games, you never like to look too much at it, but some of kind of common opponents so far that Lennox has seen, same as Vermillion, including they played against Madison, where Lennox barely beat Madison 52-46. You may remember on Tuesday night, it was a cruising victory for the Vermillion Tangers. Also, Lennox lost to Parkston back on December 18th by 19 points. The season opener for the Vermillion girls was a win against Canton. Lennox lost 56-40, and otherwise Del Rapids was their last game for the Lennox Orioles as they played that on Monday night. They got a tight victory there, 46-42, just a 4-point victory over a Del Rapids Lady Couriers team that only has 1 win so far this season. So what should we expect tonight? Well, I would expect a 4-point spread one way or the other for the Vermillion boys. And when it comes to the Vermillion girls, it's no easy task when they take on the Lennox Orioles. Once again, this is the Core Insurance pregame show here on ESPN Radio. Tonight's broadcast on Vermillion Streaming is brought to you by Thread and Ink, along with Dakota Realty, Slumberland, and our corporate sponsor, First Dakota National Bank, as they are always ready to help provide the best services at First Dakota National Bank. I'm Heath Nimke. We are going to step aside, and when we come back, we have plenty more to get to here on our pregame show. Don't go anywhere on YouTube with Vermillion Streaming.
Machine in Beersford is your full-service quality John Deere dealer. From the latest John Deere combines and tractors to lawn equipment you can count on, Peterson Machine in Beersford will bring you the best value for your dollar, along with professional service and parts to keep you going. Check out the big selection of used equipment as well. Need a hard-working farm hand? Peterson Machine also carries a full line of Polaris ATVs and UTVs ready for the toughest jobs. No matter what the job, Polaris keeps you going. Check the full inventory at petersonmachine.com.
Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment is your locally owned and operated ready mix company. Their specialty, 6x6 front discharge mixer trucks that allows for better placement of concrete and ease of use. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment offers the highest quality of concrete products and aggregate, and also a full-service dealer for low-gun equipment featuring telehandlers, excavators, and ASV track skid loaders for purchase or rent. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment, East Highway 50, Vermillion.
Optimize your washer for any load and wash the way you want. Industry-first innovation and design lets you remove the agitator to wash a bulky load that needs more space and easily swap it back in whenever you want. It's twice the wash action options and twice the washer you have at home.
Find this and other Whirlpool and Maytag appliances at Merce Appliance in Vermillion.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done in customer testimony.
Electric Service with shops in Pierre and Vermillion. We offer a full spectrum of electrical services covering Central, North Central, and Southeast South Dakota. We are licensed, insured, and ready to work on your agricultural, commercial, or residential project. Need a quote? Give us a call. Todd's Electric Service, the line to power.
You don't need an illness to need a doctor. You don't need to feel sick to feel better. You don't need to be unwell to get well. What you do need is a primary care physician or provider at Sanford Health. Better health care starts with regular wellness visits and a familiar face who knows you, your concerns, and your goals. We're here before you need us. We're here when you need us. We're here after you need us. We're here for you. Sanford Health. Health lives here.
Exclusively on Vermillion streaming for this evening. This is the Core Insurance pregame show, and it's great to have you along, getting you set for a makeup game, or I should say a moved-up game for the Vermillion Girls and Boys, along with Lennox, as this game was supposed to happen tomorrow night, but with the impending weather, they got together, were able to agree on playing here in Lennox, also get, more importantly, 3 officials for tonight's ball game, and look forward to this one for both the boys and the girls. Of course, a big rivalry matchup between Lennox and Vermillion, and you just never know what to expect in Lennox besides a lot of excitement. All right, it's time to get to our Blaine's Body Shop conversation with head coach John Brooks, and talking about his squad and how well they have done so far this season, but also this is now game number 4 out of 6 days. So how are the girls feeling, and how much are they going to be ready for tonight? And what does this Lennox team actually look like? We might just see the record, but there's actually one other big factor to why that record looks the way it does. Here he is on the Core Insurance pregame show. It's head coach John Brooks. Well, Coach Brooks, as we get ready for a Lennox game, it seems like it's been one game after another, and now with this move being moved up, you've had just one day to prepare for Lennox. Now makes it 4 games in 6 days. How are the girls feeling? How are you feeling? How have you managed this kind of stressful little stretch of the season that you've been in?
Yeah, obviously the games have kind of piled up on us here this last week. And we started with the makeup game on Monday. We knew it was going to be a busy week anyway, with that game kind of get thrown in on that Monday. And then with weather possibly moving into the area tomorrow, this one got moved up yesterday. So, yeah, it's busy, but I think the most thing that you kind of worry about sometimes is the legs. I think a lot of people think of that, but, with me, especially with a young team, a lot of it is just mentally. You don't want to mentally drain your kids, and that type of thing. But kids love to play. They'd rather be playing basketball games and practices. So I know our girls will be ready to go, and it's obviously a big rival game with Lennox tonight.
Yeah, well, looking forward to this game. We'll talk more about a Lennox team that has certainly had their ups and downs so far this season. Going back to that win against Madison, how much was that a confidence booster to continue to build on what you did with Bonhomme in that first half, to see that replicated once again in another first half against Madison?
Yeah, obviously we didn't play well in the second half against Bonhomme, so we kind of talked before the game of just getting back to playing the way that we know we can play, and I thought our girls did a really good job of coming out strong against Madison. We were able to jump on them with some full court pressure right away, and we had a lot of kids make some shots, so that was nice to see. Hopefully that will, like you said, hopefully that confidence kind of stays with us since we only had one day off and leaks into tonight's game with Lennox.
Going back to that game against Madison as well, the two Cleveland girls combined for over 20 points in that first half. Who's more of a competitor, Chandler or Janaea?
Well, that's the one thing that we love about both of them is they are tough kids. And I know that they want to score more. The last couple of games, they've kind of hit a scoring drought where they just really haven't been able to get the ball in the bucket. And us as a coaching staff, though, we haven't panicked because we know how hard they work. And they bring us so much defensively, physically, rebounding. They do so many things for our basketball team. So when they start scoring it like they did the other night, they both have chances to be really, really good basketball players, and that's going to be a huge boost for our team when they start putting the ball in the bucket.
Yeah, they're exciting to watch, and as you mentioned, if they can continue to keep scoring the way they have been, they're definitely going to add just even more to this young squad that you have on your hands this season. Looking more at Lennox, let's just begin with the opening picture, not even look at the records. They've lost so much talent over the past couple of years, including last year. How much of a different Lennox team is this from 2 years ago and even last year?
Yeah, I think Lennox is in an interesting spot here when people look at them from the outside. If you don't follow girls basketball really close, you realize that they've been without 3 of their top 7 kids for the last couple of weeks due to injuries.
Wow.
And, it was a team that everybody thought coming into the year was going to be obviously very competitive and very good.
Yeah.
They are athletic. They're long. They got really good athletes, and they got some really good players, but they've hit the injury bug. And so we'll have to kind of see what they throw out there against us tonight. We're not quite sure, but either way, whether they're fully loaded and ready to go or not, they're still very, very scary. Even with the team that they put on the floor right now, they have enough kids that have been in the starting lineup and had varsity minutes, and they've all been learning over the last couple of weeks. The kids that have been young for them. So at Lennox, rival game, you can throw a lot of things out. We've got to be ready to play.
Yeah, certainly have to be ready to play. I know you've gone through your scouting report. Who are the couple big girls that you are looking at?
Yeah, obviously Kuiper inside is a really good player for them. Has been playing since her sophomore year. She can do a lot of things in the post. And then the Peters girl, she's only an 8th grader, but she starts for him, and there's a reason why she starts. She can fill it up. I mean, she's a really good 3-point shooter. Then Higom is the one girl that 5'10", athletic, probably their best all-around athlete and player, but she's been one that's been out the last couple of weeks. So if she's back tonight, that is that will be a key piece for them that we'll have to definitely focus on. All
right, let's get the raw. Throw out the emotions going back to the beginning of this season. Coach Brooks, if I would have told you your team's either 8-2, 7-3 halfway through the season, what's your reaction to that? Did you think that was possible with this young squad, or where do you benchmark this team on how well they have played this season and being where they are at?
Yeah, I really didn't know, and I think as a coaching staff, we knew that we had some kids that were talented, but they're going to be in different roles this year. Last year they kind of flew under the radar, and this year they're kind of the main kids. And you could even see like a Parkston game. They face guarded and were physical with Brooke Jensen and Casey Hansen the whole game, and those girls have just never seen something like that yet. So how we were going to react early in the year, we were just unsure. But yeah, now all of a sudden, after halfway through the season, we're starting to look at this thing as a coaching staff like we have a real chance to make a run at a 1 or 2 seed in our region, which is huge because that gets you, home court advantage throughout the playoffs until you go to the round of 16 if you're fortunate enough to get that far. So we got to play well tonight. This will be the halfway point. Like you said, this will be game 10. We'll kind of sit down, reevaluate where we're at, figure out what we need to improve on going better in the second half of the season. And
yeah, continue to make a good one for your team. Again, sitting at 7-2, the Vermillion girls. Our conversation with head coach John Brooks on the Core Insurance pregame show has been brought to you by Blaine's Body Shop. Once again, this is Vermillion basketball doubleheader versus Lennox, exclusively on Vermillion streaming this evening. We're going to step aside and get you closer to more basketball action in this doubleheader tonight here in Lennox on Vermillion streaming.
Perfect night of sleep can be found with Slumberland's Sleep Solutions Center. Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy all feature. Don't lose another night of sleep. Stop by Slumberland of Yankton. Looking to update the family's room? Look no further than Yankton Slumberland. Lazy Boy, Flex Steel Furniture, and more. All at your hometown furniture store. That's Slumberland of Yankton.
Okay, Tanagers fans, it's that time again. Time to bank some noise for this game break with First Dakota National Bank. Give me a B for this much-needed bathroom break. Squeal with delight because your 8-hour pork ribs are ready. Throw your hands in the air because you've been sitting a while and need to stretch. Bank some noise with us at First Dakota. Open a new account online today at firstdakota.com, member FDIC.
Pup and Pack told me to keep this video simple, so I don't need to tell you about the great selections on drinks. You probably already know he has a South Dakota DMV Now kiosk to renew your license plates. Snacks, too many of those to even mention. Oh, and when you fill up that Pump and Pack, Kevin gives a portion of the money back to a charity. I guess I really don't know what to talk about. Simple enough. Pump and Pack in Vermillion.
Let's be real. You have a business to run, people to pay, money to make, and a life to balance. Good thing you also have First Bank and Trust. With our cash management solutions, you can issue payroll, accept payments, and manage cash flow, all while tapping into some of the best fraud prevention tools available. When managing a business is easier for you, so is managing a family. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Getting closer to game time here between the Vermillion girls and the Lennox Orioles, exclusively on Vermillion streaming. Great to have you along on this Thursday evening. We were supposed to play this one in 24 hours, but due to pending weather that has moved into the area, and with that as well, going out to all the Vermillion fans, if you probably haven't heard by now, there is no school tomorrow either due to weather, and also help get some of the kids at the middle school and high school also healthy once again as the flu and COVID is starting to go throughout the high school. Again, this is the Core Insurance pregame. Protect your priorities and prepare for any situation with your local Core Insurance agents of Debbie Profrock and Russell Olson. Customized to your life and budget, their plans pair local assistance with the most reputable insurance companies to find you the best insurance for your unique needs. That's make it Core Insurance. Well, again, we talk about a good matchup coming into tonight's contest as the Lennox Orioles 4-5 overall, the Vermillion girls 7-2, and of course we know how much implication this has when it comes to the DAC 12 and Region 4A. And as we heard from head coach John Brooks just a little bit ago on the pregame show, some key pieces missing for the Lennox Orioles, and let's get to that as it's going to be kind of that transition phase yet for Lennox as they're missing number 11, Danny Heigum, along with number 14, Tegan Sancouli. She's been a big piece of this offense the past several years, so it's big to have her out. And also out of the game for tonight is Carly Kuiper, the 6'2 sophomore forward. In fact, the tallest girl on this team for the Lennox Orioles. So again, some big key pieces to the offense that is missing for Lennox, and they just continue to work through this season and see if they can't find a win here at their home gym before we head into that little bit of extended break as well for some schools, as it's also Martin Luther King Day coming up on Monday. And of course, don't forget, exclusively on Vermillion
Vermillion streaming tonight. We will have the Vermillion boys following right after the girls' game. We'll also keep you up to date on scores with the state of South Dakota for their South Dakota basketball programs, with USD men and women both in action tonight. The men at home to take on Denver, and the women to take on, or excuse me, the women away in Denver. Let's step aside for 2 minutes for our national anthem, and when we come back, it's the starting lineups here on Vermillion Streaming.
Hey, I think I'll take the day off.
Is your old furnace talking back to you?
You're flying solo today, pal. I need a little me time.
The Kalen's Indoor Comfort Pros can repair your grumpy old furnace or replace it with a new high-efficiency Lennox system.
Yeah, sorry. I just can't seem to move any air today.
We'll see about that. Get a dependable Lennox system from Kalen's and start saving today.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest. So you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Hard isn't for the weak-hearted. You're the first one to punch in and the last one to clock out. Every project, every day, your hobbies are no different. Miles of scouting, hours of planning, 1 split second with everything on the line. Can you trust your equipment? Work or play, Runnings has the gear you need to be the first one out there and the last one to leave. The farm, the field, or even at home, Runnings has what you need.
Fuller Digital Solutions started small, but now we're growing as FDS provides live streaming coverage for over 20 schools across 3 different states on our Fuller Digital Solutions YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notified when we go live for your school events. Big events are captured live, and your business can get noticed with advertising during our live streams. Local talent and camera operators are encouraged to contact us too for future employment. No experience necessary. We will train. For information about advertising or working with Fuller Digital Solutions, email us and follow us on Facebook.
Back here on Vermillion Streaming, we're getting you set between the Lennox Orioles and the Vermillion Tanagers as we get to our starting lineups for both the Vermillion girls and Lennox. We'll begin with the home team. As we just mentioned a moment ago, Lennox is missing 3 key pieces to their offense due to injury. Tonight's starting lineup has been a mixed bag, but they have now played consistently for the past 3 games together. It includes number 3, Courtney Sandell, the 5'6" junior guard. Number 20, Andy Peters, the 5'4" 8th grade guard. Number 21, Alicia Rue, the 5'8" senior forward. Number 24, Drew Kuiper, the 6' senior forward. And number 35, Ryan Hansen, the 5'9" freshman forward for the Lennox Orioles. Again, missing 2 seniors from their starting lineup. The Vermillion Tanagers, as always, the same starting 5 they've had for their first 9 games of the season. As we hit the halfway point, tonight it'll be number 1, Casey Hansen, the 5'8" freshman guard. Number 3, Livy Regnerus, the 5'6" junior guard. Number 15, Leah Herbster, the 6' junior center. Number 25, Chandler Cleveland, the 5'8" sophomore forward. And number 33, Brooke Jensen, the 6' freshman guard. The Vermillion Tanagers are coached by head coach John Brooks, along with assistant coaches Doug Hansen and Carrie Jensen, and also manager Kristen Mosier. We are set and ready for our doubleheader tonight here in Lennox, where the crowd continues to file in. It's also a little bit of an earlier game than what we're used to. This game won't get set for about 6 o'clock of a tip-off. Usually about 6:30, 6:45 is when we're looking at tip-off. But again, starting a little bit earlier tonight, and nothing wrong with that. The Tanagers in their all-red uniforms, numbers and letters that are in white. The Lennox Orioles in their home uniforms that are all white, numbers and letters that are in orange, with an orange stripe that runs down the side of their jersey and into their pants. It is Hansen and Herbster in the middle. The opening tip is won by the Tanagers, and we are underway for game number 1 of our doubleheader here in Lennox this evening. It's Brooke Jensen who has it the free throw line extended near side. Over to Casey Hansen, top of the key. As the Tanagers move around the perimeter on the opening possession. First 20 seconds have already ticked away here in the quarter. It's Hansen in a lane over to Herbster. Her jumper is good. Leah Herbster did not score on Tuesday night against the Madison Bulldogs. She was the only starter not to score, but it gets off in a good way to begin this first quarter and the opening points of the ball game. A pass that was trying to be completed by Peters. Regneris jumps it and bounces it into the stands on the far side as we see it with Vermillion streaming. Again, not on ESPN Radio this evening due to USD women's basketball that comes up at 7:30, so about an hour and a half away, but don't want to get in the way of USD athletics, so we'll kick it straight to Vermillion streaming. It's Lennox who has with Peters. They work it underneath. Hansen, the reverse layup. She gets it to go. Ryan Hansen, the first 2 points for Lennox, and we're tied 2-2. 7 minutes remaining first quarter. It's Jensen at the elbow. Back out to Cleveland to Regneris. Now to Hansen. Hansen dribbles it in the light lane. Back out to Regneris. Regneris to Jensen. Catch and shoot 3. Bingo! Brooke Jensen hits a big 3-pointer. 5-2. And Vermillion, so far this week, has gotten off to great starts in the first quarter. And right now, they're on their way to doing that once again. Already 5 points. In fact, their first 2 possessions have resulted in points. It's controlled with the Orioles at the top of the key with Sandell. Hands it off now to Peters. Work it to Hansen to the corner. 3-pointer. This one's off the heel of the iron for Alicia Rude, but an offensive board for Lennox, and they'll reset the offense. Work it down to Kuiper, and there's going to be a foul call that will go against the Tanagers. Or no, excuse me. It will be Lennox basketball. No foul called on Chandler Cleveland. 5-2, 6:09 first quarter. Lennox has it as they move around the perimeter to the near side. This time with Courtney Sandell. 3-pointer far away from Ryan Hansen. This one's off the mark. Now up with Brooke Jensen. Brooke all the way down to the block. Throws it high off the glass. Can't get the fall. Offensive rebound. Leah Herbster goes right back up with it, and she's able to cash it in for 2. 7-2. Vermillion 3 possessions, 7 points, and now trying to force a pass. Livy Regneris deflects another one out of bounds. Her second time doing that this evening. 5:42 first quarter. Again, the Tanagers 7-2 entering this contest tonight. In the lane, underneath the hoop, it's Kuiper. She goes up, leaves it short, but gets back her own rebound. She can't finish off the second time as she tried to find her way through the trees. Here comes Brooke Jensen the opposite way for the Tanagers. To Regneris over to Casey Hansen. Hansen in the lane, jumper for her, leaves it short, and it falls into the hands of Courtney Sandell for the Lennox Orioles. Orioles moving in the front court now with Peters. Works it over to Sandell once again. Back to the top now with Hansen. Work it to Kuiper in the lane. Kuiper trying to back her way in against Leah Herbster. She chucks it high out of bounds. They do say that Leah Herbster came from behind and tipped it from the arms of Kuiper, so it will stay with Lennox. 5:06 first quarter, 7-2. Lennox with 19 seconds on the shot clock. Sandell will inbound it once again to Peters. Peters, as we mentioned, just an 8th grader. She's going to be exciting to watch over the next few years for the Lennox Orioles. 6 seconds on the shot clock, and now we're going to get a whistle on the pass. This is going to be a violation, it looks like, against the Lennox Orioles, a turnover. Quick explanation as well from official to head coach John Brooks. Regneris gets it into Casey Hansen. Back to Regneris, 7-2. Vermillion 3 possessions, now making this their 4th. They have scored on every single one. It's with Hansen at the top of the key. Back over to Leah Herbster. Over to Jensen along the far sideline in front of the Oriole fans. Back to Hansen, the little head bob to the free throw line. She carries it. Now to Regneris. Regneris spinning around, finding some space in the lane. She goes up with her right hand and able to finish it off. Vermillion, every single possession they have scored, and they now lead it 9-2, 4:24 first quarter. We'll step aside. We're back in 1 minute here on ESPN 101.5, on Vermillion Streaming.
Your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality health care, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
A turnover by the Lennox Orioles as we're back into action. Vermillion leads it 9-2, 4:05 first quarter. Vermillion has scored on every offensive possession. Leah Herbster shoots a three. This one's off the front of the iron, and it'll be the first time that Vermillion does not score on a possession here in this first quarter. They still lead it by 7, though, 9-2, 3:49 first quarter. Along the far wing, it's controlled with Sandell. And again, working around the perimeter to Rude, as both teams have kept out their starting five. We have not seen a substitution try driving in and blocking away. Courtney Sandell went up for a floater, and there came the big arms of Leah Herbster. Casey Hansen tries to force a pass, and this one's stolen away by Rude. Lennox quickly the opposite way, up to Kuiper. She did not turn around as the ball went by her out of bounds, and we'll finally see our first substitutions of the ball game. Mulherrin, Janaea Cleveland, Brooklyn Voss, the usual suspects check in. Also, Kuiper will check out of the basketball game for Lennox, and checking in for the first time this evening will be Ashley Sweeter for the Orioles. 9-2, 3:17 first quarter. Casey Hansen hands it off to Brooke Jensen. Brooke Jensen puts down the left dribble, looks back to head coach John Brooks to get a play call. Now over to Janaea Cleveland, who touches the ball for the first time this evening. Janaea spins off for defender, bounce pass to Jensen, and a foul called before the shot. Good move, though, by Janaea Cleveland. The foul, by the way, comes against Sweeter. That will be her first personal foul and also the first foul of the basketball game for either team. Hansen gets it deep to Voss, who can shoot the three, decides not to pull the trigger. Voss switching the right to left-handed dribble. Now hands it to Janaea. Back to Hansen. Hansen falls on the ground, gets it over to Voss. Far jumper with her foot on the line, knocks it down. It's the first bench points for the Vermillion Tanagers, and they extend it up to a 9-point lead. Quickly the opposite way. Sweeter too hard off the glass. A battle for the rebound underneath the hoop, and the Tanagers come away with Janaea Cleveland underneath the hoop. Hands it quickly to Hansen. Still Hansen. Inside the perimeter. Down to the low block. Kick back out. Voss catch and shoot three. Bingo! Brooklyn Voss, 5 straight points for the Vermillion Tanagers. It's 14-2, 2:24 first quarter, and a timeout from head coach Adam Quayle. And it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll step aside as well on Vermillion Streaming. We're back in 1 minute.
Olson, owner of Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. I grew up here, graduated here, and now have a business here. I'm proud to serve the community that has helped me live this dream. I have top-notch equipment, the latest in training, along with a work ethic and the desire to serve you. Should you need repairs in the future, please remember Blaine's Body Shop across from Polaris on the Highway 50 bypass in Vermillion.
Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Now online at blainesbodyshop.com.
At Knutson Family Dentistry in Vermillion, they strive to provide the highest quality patient-centered dental care in a friendly, relaxing atmosphere. Knutson Family Dentistry works hard to provide the best cosmetic, general, and emergency dental treatment in the area. With over 50 years of combined dental experience, the latest dental technology, and a professional and compassionate staff, they're your top choice for dental care. Call for an appointment at 605-857-8008. Knutson Family Dentistry of Vermillion.
Adam Quayle has already reached into his bag and had to use 2 timeouts here in this first quarter to try to settle his team down, which so far, after the first timeout, didn't work. Hopefully this full 60-second timeout gets his troops in order. It's in the backcourt with Peters, the 8th grader, quickly getting it underneath and off the glass and good for 2. A great outlet pass from Andy Peters to Alicia Rude, and Rude lays it off the glass for her first 2 points of the evening. The score is 14-4, 2 minutes exactly remaining in this first quarter. It's Jensen along the baseline, bounce pass to Voss, who's got the last 5 points for Tangers. Make it 7. The off-balance shot from Brooklyn Voss. She averages 8 a ball game, already has 7. And again, she comes off the bench, 16-4. It's their Orioles a bad pass, but collected by Rude, as driving in the lane that time was Hansen, and she just threw it off balance to Peters, back down to Hansen, and she tries to drive in, and contact is made, a foul called. Be the first one on the Vermillion Tanagers, and this one goes against Kenzie Mulherron. Quick couple of substitutions. Leah Herbster and Chandler Cleveland will come back in. Now Brooke Jensen and Casey Hansen will check out of the basketball game. 16-4, 131 first quarter. Quick inbounds pass, a shot that is off the mark for Rude, just leaves it a little short off the right of the iron. Janaea Cleveland quickly up to her sister Chandler, and she's able to lay it off, and good for 2. Chandler, who had her season high 15 points on Tuesday night, extends the lead now up to 14, the biggest lead the Tanagers have had in the ballgame. Again, 18-4, 107 first quarter. Orioles moving around perimeter, work it over now to Kuiper, to the far corner, almost losing it, and does so. A belt-high pass over to Hansen, but she couldn't hold on to it, and it goes out of bounds. It will be Vermillion basketball. With now 55 seconds and rolling in this first quarter, it's 18-4. Vermillion continues to pour it on here in these last 3 games in this first quarter, as they continue to set new marks for scoring. They put up 18, which matches what they did on Tuesday night against the Madison Bulldogs. They put up 15 against Bonhomme. Cleveland moves around 2 defenders, and Janaea lays off the glass, and good for her first 2. It's now 20-4, 25 seconds remaining first quarter, and this is now a new season high of scoring points in the first quarter. Vermillion's best quarter has come at 21, and with a quick turnover by the Orioles, Vermillion could put up their best quarter they've had all season when it comes to scoring. Voss inbounds it to Janaea Cleveland while John Brooks was shouting out instructions. Shouldn't have inbounded it that soon, and Voss almost caught Janaea off guard. 8 seconds. Bounce pass, try to get it over to Voss, but it's going to be stolen away by Rude. Quickly up to Peters, trying to make a pass, and this one's behind. Sweeter. Be another quick turnover for the Orioles. 1.5 remaining in this first quarter. So Voss will just inbound it. Janaea won't have to take a shot, but they'll go up to Chandler. She'll put up the half-court heave, and this one is off the mark. Just a little over to the right, but nonetheless, Vermillion pours it on in the first quarter, and they lead it by 16, 20-4, as we head to the second quarter. You're listening to Tanger Basketball taking on the Lennox Orioles on Vermillion Streaming. We're back in 60 seconds.
Vermillion is ready with all your Tanager gear. Check out their Tanager Pride and Tanager logo t-shirts. Thread and Ink has USD Coyote gear too. They custom print apparel, do built-to-order laser engraving, embroidery, promotional items, signage, and much more. Thread and Ink Vermillion is locally owned, and customers give them 5 stars on their Facebook page, so you know you can trust Thread and Ink to fill your order with the perfection you deserve. Good luck from Thread and Ink Vermillion.
Masaba of Vermillion, South Dakota is now hiring for full and part-time positions with day and evening shifts available. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a state-of-the-art facility with a clean and safe work environment. We offer competitive starting wages and an interesting and fun work culture. If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we would love to have you on our team. For more information, visit masabainc.com/careers.
Coach John Brooks mentioned in our pregame conversation that it really hasn't mattered a whole lot. The girls have not been able to practice. In fact, just one practice in the past 6 days. And Shirley is showing that because he said they just love to play the game, and they have put up consistently their best quarter so far this week as they continue to set that new mark. They put up 20 in the first quarter, and they lead it by big digits of 16. And now Leah Herbster shoots the three, gets her first varsity three-pointer of her career. Leah Herbster now 7 points in the ball game. It's 23-4, 19-point lead, and a travel by Hansen. Leah Herbster has been shooting the three-pointer all season long. She hasn't quite been able to connect, but here in Lennox tonight has been her evening. Again, she struggled to score on Tuesday night against the Bulldogs, where she was the only starter not to score, but right now 7 points for her in the ball game. Jensen, 2 steps in the perimeter, puts up her shot. This one misses off the iron and rebounded by the Orioles, 23-4. Again, it has definitely been a difficult task for Lennox. Don't let this team fool you. They've missed some key pieces. You talk about Carly Kuiper, Danny Heigum, and even Tegan Sancouli, all key pieces to the offense out with injury that they have struggled with. Quick foul. And 2 free throws upcoming. The foul against Drew Kuiper. And also, Lennox lost some great senior talent from last year's state tournament team. So, I mean, this just kind of has been an unperfect storm, you could say, for the Lennox Orioles. But, of course, head coach Adam Quayle, a great coach, and definitely a dark horse when it comes to this Region 4 team. Both free throws, a rare time that Hansen misses them both. Score remains at a 19-point lead, 23-4, 6:38, second quarter. Along the near sideline, right in front of the Tanger bench, Orioles have it. Now flip it to the other side. It's controlled with Peters. Peters down to the low block, high off the glass. Can't get her shot to fall. Ball's being tipped around. Pass, this will go out of bounds. The one bad thing for Lennox is they'd have to get used to seeing this Vermillion Tangers team, as this team is so young yet. In fact, as of right now, let's just say everything remains the same. All starting 5 will be back for Vermillion next year. Of course, only one senior on this Tanger girls squad. Timeout from head coach John Brooks as he tries to settle in his team. Already 1:40 gone in the second quarter. Tangers have put up that lone three-pointer from Leah Herbster, and that has been it. Tanger Broadcast tonight is brought to you by Larry's Heating and Cooling, Murph's Appliance, along with First Bank and Trust. Also coming up on the Vermillion Booster halftime show, if you missed our conversation on Tuesday night with the football coach, head coach Tom O'Boyle, we'll replay that interview and talk about what the Vermillion Boosters were able to help out with the football program this year, and also get a slight preview at what we expect to see from the football program coming up this upcoming fall, already into the new year 2022. Casey Hansen chucks it over to Cleveland along the far wing, back to Hansen, now to Jensen, wide open at the low block, and she takes advantage of it. Jensen, 5 points for her in the ball game, 25-4, now a 21-point lead. And also a reminder, this is a doubleheader this evening, so Vermillion Boys can also be found right here on the same link. Won't need to click anywhere. You can check out that game. Should be a great one. Lennox Boys 7-1, Vermillion Boys 5-1. Definitely expecting a close battle, and that coming up after this game. It's Hansen, top of the key for the Vermillion girls. Dribble in between the legs over to Jensen. Jensen puts down her left-handed dribble. Now over to Leah Herbster. Catch and shoot three. Bingo! Leah Herbster, her second varsity three-pointer. 10 points for her in the ball game. 28-4, 5:15, second quarter. It's Hansen for the Orioles, just trying to find some type of offense here in this second quarter. Now controlled with Peters. Back out to Kuiper with 14 seconds on the shot clock. To Hansen. Now a deep three from Peters. This is off the heel of the iron. Rebounded by Leah Herbster. as an Oriole hits the ground, but peeling herself up is Sandell. Quickly up to Jensen. She has her pocket almost picked back out to Hansen. Three-pointer for her, misses everything. Cleveland saves it, but it goes right to Hansen. 28-4, 4:34 second quarter. Again, the Orioles are still looking for their first points of this second quarter. Hansen works it over to Rude. Back to Kuiper. Around the perimeter they go, just trying to find some kind of space against this zone defense from the Tanagers. Now along the baseline. Hansen, she has to back out with no room to go. 7 seconds to Peters. Jumper at the free throw line. This one's off the mark. Rebounded by Hansen. Hansen quickly pushes tempo for the Tanagers. Now we'll pump the brakes a little bit. Get it over to Regnerus. Over to Hansen. Catch and shoot three. This one rattles in and out and rebounded by Hansen. Hansen now with her 5th rebound of the basketball game. 28-4, 3:49 second quarter. Back out to Hansen. They work it to Peters. Peters gets it down to Sandell, and she goes off the glass. Can't get the fall, but she is fouled, and she'll head to the free throw line with a smile on her face. The foul is the second one called on the Tanagers, and the first that will go against Brooke Jensen. The only other Tanager to have a foul tonight will be Kenzie Mulherron. By the way, we will keep you up to date on action happening with USD men's and women's basketball, as the USD men are getting close to pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 with their tip set for 7. The USD women don't tip off until 8 o'clock. Pregame coverage begins at 7:30 with Carter Wooddeal right here, or I should say usually, on ESPN Radio. 2 free throws are off the mark, but another offensive rebound, and Sandell goes back up with it. No, excuse me, that was Rude that went up with it. And she's fouled, so she'll go shoot 2 free throws. The foul called on Cleveland, her first personal, and the 3rd team foul. Again, the Orioles are still trying to shake off this 0 for the second quarter, and the 3rd straight free throw was off the mark. Quick substitution as Sweeter is back in the ball game, and Courtney Sandell will come off for the Orioles. 28-4, 3:37 second quarter. Let's see if Rude can hit it. Free throw is up, and this one just bounces off to the left. Unfortunate there. Hansen, though, with the offensive rebound. Back out, Peters, three-pointer. This one off the mark. They just cannot take the lid off the hoop here in this second quarter. Mulherron, Janaea Cleveland, Chandler Cleveland, Brooklyn Voss, Casey Hansen, all on the court right now for the Tanagers. They lead it 28-4, 3:15 second quarter. Hansen bounce pass goes right to the not her teammate, but Sweeter instead of the Orioles in white. Back out. Lennox moves it around the perimeter. Now to the near side with Rude. And all the way back out to reset the offense will be Herlin for Lennox. Now down to Peters. Back over to Herlin. To the far side with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Now it's Sweeter. Get it back to Peters with 3 seconds. 2, 1. The last second heave, and bank is open and good for Herlin as she has her first 2 points of the basketball game. And finally is the first 2 points of this quarter. And now a bad pass by Casey Hansen over into the corner will go right into the bleachers, and she'll have to come out. Brooke Jensen will replace her. Quick check at the scores table. So they have to adjust for a moment. 28-7. They're going to count the Herlin a 3-pointer instead of a 2? They do, okay. So she got a 3-pointer. I thought she was just inside the arc, but they counted a 3 instead of a 2, and that was what they were discussing at the scores table. Nonetheless, Andy Peters has it. Work it to the near corner with Rude. Now underneath to Hansen. Her shot's off the mark, but she tips it away from Brooklyn Voss, and the Orioles get it back. 3-pointer corner for Peters is off the mark. Underneath, rebound. Going back up with it, fouled, and heading to the free throw line will be Rude. Rude has 2 points in the basketball game. The foul, by the way, comes against Kenzie Mulherron. Now in foul trouble, picking up her second personal and the 4th team foul. Olivia Regnerus will come in just a moment. The first of two is up and nothing but nylon for Root, giving her 3 points for the ball game. 28-8, 1:55 second quarter. Chandler Cleveland comes out of the ball game to make way for Livy Regnerus. And we'll wait in a second substitution. Not going to happen for the Lennox Orioles. As waiting to come out of the game is Rude as she misses her second free throw. If she would have made it, she would have been able to come out of the basketball game. Maybe she wanted to stay out there. Cleveland tries to force a pass, and Vermillion, after a great first quarter, is starting to force some bad turnovers. And now, quickly the opposite way is Rude as she's able to throw it off the glass, giving her now 5 points for the ball game. 28-10, under 90 seconds remaining here in this first half. It's Regnerus. Regnerus over to Jensen in that far corner. Bounce pass to Mulherron. Mulherron tries to go up strong, and she's going to be hit from behind. The foul against Sweeter, picking up her second personal and the third team foul for the Lennox Orioles, and 2 free throws upcoming for Mulherron. We'll finally see Rude come out of the basketball game here in just a moment. Free throw is up, and this one is off the mark. Sandell will check back in. As I mentioned, Rude is off for the Orioles. 28-10, 1:17 remaining in this first half. The Vermillion Booster halftime show with head coach Tom O'Boyle of the Vermillion football team is coming up here in a little bit as well. Mulherron hits the second free throw, giving her first point of the evening. 29-10, 1:08 second quarter. It's controlled now with Peters on the baseline. Back out to the top with Sandell. Sandell to the elbow, but Jensen there to stick her hand and knock the shot away. Voss over to Mulherron. Mulherron picks up her dribble, works it to Regnerus. Now to Voss, who's got 7 points off the bench, all coming in the first quarter. And then the pass, ball is stolen away from Janaea Cleveland. And Cleveland's able to recover, knock it away from Rude in the backcourt. With 30 seconds remaining on the shot clock. In fact, Janaea Cleveland will now come out of the basketball game, and Casey Hansen will check in. 40 seconds remaining, first half, 29-10, still in the backcourt. The Orioles have it. Bring it across. It's Herlin. Now over to Sandell. Back to Peters. As it's 10 seconds that separate the shot clock from game clock. Peters drives in, but a foul called. The 6th foul on the Vermillion Tanagers. And the foul comes against Livy Regnerus, which will be her first personal. And with that foul, it turns the shot clock off. So just 29 seconds remaining here in the first half. Get it in deep to Peters. Now over to Sweeter. To Sandell. Back to Peters, who's paying attention to the clock and knows she can hold for the last second shot. The 8th grader trying to get some space against Regnerus. Still Peters picks up her dribble to Hansen at the free throw line. Hansen drives in, but it's going to have it stripped out of her hands and out of bounds. Livy Regnerus does it for the 3rd time this evening, stripping an Oriole of the ball. 9.9 remaining first half, 29-10. They get it in deep to Peters. She wasn't necessarily paying attention. She has to chase it deep. 7 seconds. It's Peters. Now back over to Herlin, and then stepping out of bounds, though before the pass was Peters. So with 3 seconds, Vermillion will get the last chance of a shot. It's Hansen looking to inbound. They get it to Jensen at the half court. Jensen puts up her shot. It will be way off the mark. Doesn't even hit the backboard, and that is the end of the first half. Vermillion puts up just 9 points in the second quarter, but they hold just Lennox to scoring 6, and they lead it by 23 at halftime. Again, the halftime score is 29-10. Coming up at halftime, as we mentioned, we're going to catch up with head coach Tom O'Boyle, talking about the Vermillion Boosters and our conversation that we had together on Tuesday when Madison was at home. So he is on the way next here in 2 minutes on Vermillion Streaming.
Most new systems today, it's important to remember to maintain the warranty. You need to show proof of service. Things that you can expect from Larry's Heating and Cooling Comfort Care Club are prompt, timely service, 2 maintenances, and respect.
If you ever have an issue, from Lennox to Carrier and everything in between, we're there for you. For any inquiries about our pricing, feel free to call us at 1-800-491-9461. Anytime, any day.
We're a little bit different here at Vermillion Federal Credit Union. See, unlike banks, we're a member-owned not-for-profit institution, meaning members like you are the owners, and the profits are returned through better fees and lower rates.
Hey you, down in front!
And since our members are our owners, we exist to serve you and make sure that you're as comfortable as possible here. So come on in and act like you own the place, because you do.
Open your free checking account today. Vermillion Federal Credit Union.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new home, or your family is growing and you need to sell your existing home, or you're a student moving to an apartment, Dakota Realty and Property Management has home listings for families as well as apartments. Being locally owned and with over 150 years of combined experience, they have the connections to find the home that will fit you. Go to Dakota Realty and Property Management at 125 East Cherry Street, Vermillion, because they like what they do and they will work for you. Dakota Realty is a proud supporter of Vermillion Athletics.
Vermillion Medical Clinic is your trusted hometown healthcare provider. Family medicine, 10 visiting specialists, Vermillion's only pediatrician, and expanded convenient care hours. Because illness and injury don't keep office hours. Vermillion Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
It's the Vermillion Booster halftime show here on Vermillion. It's streaming. As coming up here, we'll take a look back at the first half statistics, as it has been an exciting first quarter for Vermillion as they put up 20 points in that first quarter, but again, just 29 for the half, and it really has been a lot of balanced scoring from the Vermillion Tangers. Again, your first half scoring is coming up here in just a little bit, but since this is the Vermillion Booster halftime show, the Vermillion Boosters are always giving back to Vermillion Athletics, not just for the winter seasons, but also the spring seasons and throughout the fall as well. And on Tuesday, head coach of the Vermillion football team, Tom O'Boyle, caught up with me at halftime, and here is our conversation about just how the Vermillion Boosters have helped out his football program and what he's expecting to see from the Vermillion boys coming up this fall season. Joined with head coach Tom O'Boyle. First off, Coach O'Boyle, how about them Bengals?
How about the Bangs?
How about them Bengals?
I feel sorry for the Vegas Raider fans, who I feel sorry for, Heath. It's just a great deal. We're going to break the Bo curse.
I was going to say, now it's been since what, 1991?
Moby Dick was a minnow. That's right.
It's been a long time since the Cincinnati Bengals certainly have won, but that, of course, is not why we brought you on here. I know you can go on, though, for a while. Join once again with head coach Tom O'Boyle, talking about the Vermillion Boosters. And Coach OB, I know going through this season, it was certainly fun this fall, but it was very possible as well for the Vermillion Boosters, what they were able to do for your program during the summer, help get ready the practice facilities, and just always get your guys in condition. Tell us more about how the Vermillion Boosters were able to help the football team this past fall.
You know, and Heath, it even goes a little farther than just football. I mean, this is a group of tireless workers that have the best interest of every student athlete, every student in our district in mind, and what they did as far as with our football program, first and foremost, to have probably the best practice field in southeast South Dakota,
absolutely,
if not eastern South Dakota, and have it ready and turfed, and just it was the countless hours that those folks put in to make sure that our student athletes have the best of the best and have the best opportunity to succeed is amazing. That all the different activities that they put on and then turn around and have to work is truly remarkable. Truly, they're special people, and that's one of the reasons that Vermillion is successful as it is. You know, these folks, you ask, the answer is we'll find a way. It's never no.
And Coach, this is your opportunity, your plea, because I know there's plenty of Vermillion boosters out there listening right now. What's the kind of look at for football this season that you would love to get from the Vermillion boosters?
You know,
this is your one opportunity.
I didn't realize I was coming here with a Santa list. I hope Dave's listening and has a good pencil. Dave have to sharpen them. You know, I think the need for our football program to move forward and to take the next step, which we will.
Yep.
Would be, you know, our wants are going to be an end zone camera. Our wants are going to be a platform that we can film practice from, get up in the air a little bit so we can do a better job teaching and filming at practice and doing those. But
well, Dave's certainly got the equipment for it.
Well, you know, I'm not volunteering for anything for him. He's a dang good man. No, I think that they're simply, as you go to football games in the dome, and you know what a facility we have to play there.
Mm-hmm.
All the opponents come in and have an end zone camera that sets with their sideline camera, and they're just great teaching tools. So
yeah,
those are things for us to make plans for and raise some money for, and I do believe that makes us a better program.
Well, of course, I think I already know the answer to this, but I know a lot of people have been talking about such an exciting season, getting to the semifinals this past year. Is it championship this next year, or have you even set goals yet for what you would like to see with the squad?
Oh, I think, you know, I think we all understand that it didn't end the way that we would have liked it to end, and there, you know, we ended it a game short, and we will always strive to be, you know, play our best football late in the season and play into November, and I think that first and foremost it takes great work ethic over the off season, and most of that is being involved in other sports. I mean, I certainly am a proponent of kids doing everything they can. That's the best thing they can do for themselves to get ready for football. But no, it's an important summer, and we want kids to do well in baseball. We want kids to go to basketball camps, and we certainly want kids in the weight room and doing football things. So, you know, our goals will be to play football in November.
Absolutely. Let's go make that happen. Continue to enjoy your bulking season right now. I see you're kind of you're dressed down a little bit. I've never seen you dressed like this here a little bit. I'm loving it, though.
Try to be a little undercover. You know, you guys got to slip around the dark shadows.
There you go. And once again, it's head coach Tom O'Boyle and our conversation from Tuesday night just about how much the Vermillion Boosters have been able to give back to that fall program. He also mentioned his Santa's list, what he would like to see. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to happen or not, but again, great catching up with head coach Tom O'Boyle. He's a part of our exclusive interviews on ESPN Radio and Vermillion streaming for the Vermillion Boosters, and we'll certainly be catching up with more head coaches with the Vermillion Booster halftime show, and also be catching up more with boosters, who are the ones that give back to the student athletes. Well, we have a quick chance. Let's take a look at the first half scoring. Again, it's been very balanced from the Vermillion Tanagers. In fact, 7 different girls have scored tonight out of the 8 that have played. In fact, the one that has not scored is very, very rare to say. Leah Herbster leads all way with 10 points. Brooklyn Voss off the bench has 7. Otherwise, 5 points for Brooke Jensen, 2 points for Livy Ragnaris, Chandler Cleveland, and also Janaea Cleveland, and a free throw from Kenzie Mulheron. The only one not to score so far in the basketball game is Casey Hansen, who averages 12 points a ball game. For the Lennox Orioles, only 3 girls have scored. Alicia Rude leads the way with 5 points. 3 points from Herlin off her off-balance three-pointer at the shot clock buzzer, and also Ryan Hansen had the first 2 points for the Orioles back in the first quarter. And as a look at your scoring, and this has been the Vermillion Booster halftime show here exclusively on Vermillion streaming tonight. Again, not on ESPN Radio due to USD women's basketball that is coming up at 7:30. And I know the USD men's pregame show has just gotten underway on Classic Hits 106.3. Also, a lot of games have been shuffled around for this evening. Many schools have noticed that, of course, with the impending weather that is coming in for tomorrow, they've either moved their games up a day or they have moved them around. We'll get you some score updates from across the state of South Dakota as well, including a couple teams inside the DAC 12 that have games going on this evening, and some of the top teams in Class A for girls action also playing this evening. But right now, we're back into action as Lennox and Vermillion both come out with their starting five. For Lennox Orioles, that's Courtney Sandell, Andy Peters, Alicia Rude, Drew Kuiper, and also Ryan Hansen. For the Vermillion Tanagers, it's their usual five for them: Casey Hansen, Livy Regneris, Leah Herbster, Chandler Cleveland, and Brooke Jensen. Again, Casey Hansen averages over 12 points a ball game, has yet to score this evening, but when you talk about 7 others that have scored, it has been very balanced from Vermillion. Now, they have struggled so far in this little bit of a streak they're on of scoring points in the second half, especially in this third quarter. We'll see how they come out here in the second half as their first possession goes dry. But they still lead it by 19 points, 29-10. Lennox, as we mentioned, if you're just tuning into the broadcast, it has been a tough go for them this season, losing some great senior talent from last year, but also 3 different injuries that Lennox has suffered. Kuiper down to low block near side, able to throw it off the glass, get her first 2 points of the evening, 29-12. Talk about Carly Kuiper, Danny Heigum, and also Tegan Sancluli. 3 big injuries for the Lennox Orioles. Livy Regneris, three-pointer, you betcha! Livy Regneris, her first point since the first quarter. She now has 5 for the ball game, 32-12, back up to a 20-point lead. By the way, don't forget the Vermillion boys take on Lennox coming up after this game. Should be an exciting one. We'll catch up with head coach Jay Drake. Three-pointer for Peters is off the front of the iron. Offensive rebound, back up off the mark, though, for Hansen. And the ball being batted around like a volleyball and will go out of bounds. They say last touched by the Orioles. Also, new head coach for the Lennox Orioles, Coach Buck Miller. Look forward to what he's going to continue to build with this program. Again, only 1 loss for Lennox so far this season. They're at 7-1 right now, 3rd inside Region 4, whereas the Vermillion boys currently find themselves in 4th. Right now in 1st and 2nd is Dakota Valley and T area, respectively. Sandell has along the near wing to the top and around the perimeter. The Orioles go. 19 seconds on the shot clock. A pass can be knocked away by Leah Herbster. And more fans continue to pile in for that game as well. It has been kind of on the lighter side here in the Lennox Gymnasium than what we're used to seeing. Again, that might have a little bit of a factor with this game being moved up 24 hours to a Thursday night, but good to have this one in. In fact, the past 2 years, this game has also been moved and has not happened on that Friday night. 7 seconds on the shot clock. It's Peters to the elbow, over the corner, three-pointer for Rude. She's fouled and hits it. The very rare 4-point play upcoming for Rude. The foul called on Livy Regneris. It's a first team foul for the Vermillion Tanagers, the second on Regneris. And Rude trying to complete the 4-point play. Throws it up and leaves it short. And almost an offensive rebound. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Jensen. So Lennox will get it back after the missed free throw. 32-15, 5:29, third quarter. That can certainly swing a little bit of momentum Lennox's way. But first they have to have someone who's going to inbound it. It'll be Hansen. Trying to find somebody. Gets it in right away. And it'll be right to Rude. And Rude is able to finish it off. Now giving her double digits for the ball game. She has 10. 32-17. In fact, Rude 5 points in the last 8 seconds for the Orioles. It's to Herbster. Over to Chandler Cleveland. Trying to get it back to Herbster. Finds the hands, though, of Hansen. She goes up strong. Can't finish off her shot, but she's fouled. And she'll head to the free throw line where she is 0 of 2 already this evening. The foul comes against Sandell, picking up her first personal and the first team foul. Lennox only committed 3 fouls in that first half. 32-17, 5:06 third quarter. First free throw, Hansen rattles it in. First point of the ball game as well. And now all 8 Tangers to play tonight have scored. 33-17, 5:06 third quarter. Second free throw, Hansen hits them both. She's now 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Sandell is out. Herlin will check back in for Lennox. 34-17, Tangers have doubled up the Orioles right now in the third. In the backcourt, it's controlled with Peters trying to make the pass over to Herlin. Goes beyond her reach and will go out of bounds. So give the ball right back to the Vermillion Tangers. 4:58 third quarter. Lady Regneris will cross the Big O here in Lennox. Now to Jensen at the free throw line, over to Leah Herbster, the far 2. Hits off the top of the backboard and will bounce into the waiting arms of Hansen. 4:40 third quarter. 34-17, pass over to Peters. Peters back to the top, 3-pointers for Hansen, you betcha. Ryan Hansen, her first point since the first quarter, 34-20, 4:22 third quarter. Back the other way, this time it's Casey Hansen, down to low block, off-balance shot. She is fouled and will head to the free throw line. 34-20, 4:17 third quarter. And 2 free throws upcoming for Casey Hansen. Again, she is 2 of 4 from the free throw line. First free throw is up, and this one rattles off. She struggled tonight, but you know what? When the rest of your team is carrying you, you don't always need to be on. Second free throw upcoming here in just a moment, and this one is also off the mark. Casey Hansen, 2 of 6, claps her hands together. Let's blame it on just being tired. Again, Vermillion, this is their 4th game now in 6 days. They're trying to make it 4 games in a row and get to 8-2 on their season. A deep 3-pointer for Peters is off the mark. Rebounded by Hansen. Again, Vermillion during that time has had only 1 practice, which was yesterday, to get ready for Lennox. Regneris over to Jensen. Now to Leah Herbster, who has to pick it up off the hardwood. Down to Jensen at the low block, and she battles her way in and cashes in for 2. Brooke Jensen now 7 points in the ball game. 3:37 third quarter, 36-20. Vermillion has only scored 7 points here in this third quarter, whereas the Lennox Orioles have been able to score 10. And now a quick foul, as this one will be called on Sandell, which is her second team foul. Quick inbounds to Kuiper. Still in the backcourt for the Lennox Orioles. Finally breaking a press is Peters. 3-pointer now for her. Knocks it down. Alicia Peters. The 8th grader gets her first points of the evening. She has been shooting quite a bit, but has yet to score before that point. Now to Voss. 36-23. Vermillion trying to finish this one off. Lead it by 13. Back out to Voss. 3-pointer for her. This one misses everything and will go out of bounds. Almost running into Coach Zeller, who's taking pictures tonight for the Vermillion girls. 36-23. 3:07 third quarter. Maybe that's not Coach Zeller. No, never mind. That's not Coach Zeller. Looked like it from a distance. My bad. Kuiper gets the inbounds pass to Hansen. Ball is tipped, trying to get it up to Herlin. Herlin from Kuiper. Now Peters gets it across the 10-second line. Back to Herlin. To Peters at the free throw line extended. Down the low block with Kuiper. Turnaround jumper. Misses everything. And Jensen was a foul called. They say out of bounds with a tipped. Not because Brooke Jensen tried to save it and stepped out of bounds, but tipped instead. They'll retain possession with the Orioles. A couple substitutions as Leah Herbster and Brooke Jensen along with Olivia Regneris come out. Quick shot up by Hansen. She's fouled. Mal Heron, Chandler Cleveland, and Janaea Cleveland all back on the court. The foul against Casey Hansen. Hansen picks up her first personal and the third team foul on the Vermillion Tanagers. And Hansen, 2 free throws upcoming here in just a moment. She's got 5 points for the ball game and gets this free throw to go, giving her 6 now for the evening, 4 in this third quarter. 36-24. Lennox has slowly gotten back into this after Vermillion led after quarter 1, 20-4. And second free throw is knocked down from Hansen. Now 15 points in this third quarter compared to just 7 for the Vermillion Tanagers. 2:35 third quarter, 36-25. Janaea Cleveland over to Voss. Voss trying to get the pass on to Mulliher and goes way beyond her and out of bounds. So Vermillion's success in the first half cannot be carried over once again this evening into the second half, or at least into the third quarter. And that will continue to be a talking point for head coach John Brooks. Quick inbounds is going to be stolen away. Janaea Cleveland, the jumper, is off the mark. And this one is going to be finally rebounded by the Lennox Orioles. Here comes Herlin across the timeline. We'll get it over to Peters. Back to the top. Orioles work it around. Now to Kuiper. Inside the lane to Hansen. Back out to Herlin. Kuiper. Peters. Swinging around the perimeter to the near side now. It's with Sweeter. Sweeter, 8 seconds on the shot clock, and now a timeout from head coach Adam Quayle. 36-25. 7 seconds on the shot clock, 1:52 remaining in this third quarter. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by our corporate sponsor, First Dakota National Bank. Meet their banking dream team in Vermillion as they offer you personal hometown banking service with a smile that gives you always the great customer service, and they always listen to your needs while providing the banking solutions that truly fit you. That's First Dakota National Bank. If you're back in Vermillion, and if it's getting towards that time you have not ate yet, then make sure you make it Pizza Ranch in Vermillion. Of course, they always have that fun zone with the latest games in arcade games. And don't forget the great prize booth. And on Tuesdays, kids eat free. You can also join them for their community impact events to help support local groups or host your own. And if you'd rather stay in, again, just call and order online as they're always able to deliver to your home. That's Pizza Ranch in Vermillion. What's your favorite pizza from Pizza Ranch in Vermillion? I'm a classic guy. I never mind a good cheese pizza. Kind of basic sometimes. Inbounds passes. We're back in the way. At 4 seconds on the shot clock. Bounce pass to Hansen. She's going to get back out to Kuiper. This one should be a shot clock violation. But nonetheless, the shot was missed anyways, and Vermillion will have it. Casey Hansen. Hansen over to Janaea Cleveland. Cleveland is going to knock down Sweeter, but they call the foul on Sweeter, picking up now her second personal and the third team foul. 36-25. Lennox Orioles trying to get it back under double digits. Vermillion trying to build it back up. Their biggest lead comes at 24 points. That was early in the second quarter. Quick inbounds to Voss, and Voss is going to travel immediately with it. So another quick turnover. Head coach John Brooks can't believe it. He puts his hands to his ears in frustration and will have a seat on the bench. Head coach Doug Hansen says something to him. 36-25. 90 seconds remaining third quarter. Quick turnover in the backcourt. Casey Hansen in the lane. She tries to force the pass back out, and she is fouled. The foul will go against Herlin, picking up her first personal, and now second on Herlin, and the fourth team foul on the Lennox Orioles. Livy Regnerus, Brooke Jensen back in the basketball game. Chandler Cleveland and Casey Hansen coming out. Livy Regnerus to inbound. Get it to Jensen in the lane. Jumper for her is off the heel of the iron. Rebounded by Lennox. 36-25, 1:16, third quarter. So I'm getting a little close for comfort if you're a Tanager fan. It's Kuiper, top of the key. Now trying to go over to Hansen. She wasn't paying attention as she was cut in the lane. The pass was made over to her outside the perimeter. One thing that has been for sure in this third quarter is plenty of turnovers. 1:03, third quarter. Clock rolling. Livy Regnerus hands it off to Janaea Cleveland. Cleveland gets a little bit of space. Bounce pass over to Voss. Catch and shoot jumper and knocks it down. Brooklyn Voss, her first point since the first quarter. She's got 9 for the ball game. 38-25. 47 seconds remaining third quarter. Now controlled with Herlin as she gets it across the timeline. Over to Sweeter. Now back to the top with Kuiper. Passes tipped as they work it to Herlin. She dribbles it to the lane. Back out to Kuiper. 14 seconds on the shot clock. To Hansen. The pass is tall. Stolen away by Janaea Cleveland. It's 1 versus 3. She pumps the brakes. Over to Jensen. Jensen in the lane. Back out to Mulherrin. Mulherrin thought about the 3, and she travels as she makes that thought. 38-25. 16 seconds remaining third quarter. Rude is back in the game along with Sandell. Sweeter and Herlin out for the Lennox Orioles. 38-25. 16 seconds. Here comes the inbound from Rude. Gets it into Sandell. The press is slightly on by the Tangers. Playing that man-to-man defense currently with Janaea Cleveland. Working up against Peters. Now Voss comes to help support. Steals it away from Peters. It's Voss with 3 seconds. She goes up with her shot. Can't get the fall, but she is fouled, and she'll head to the free throw line with 1.9 remaining in the third quarter. The foul is called on Peters, picking up now her first personal and the 15th foul on the Lennox Orioles. 2 free throws upcoming for Voss. She puts hers up and gets it to go for the first one, giving her now 10 points for the ball game. So the 2 big girls of Leah Herbster and Brooklyn Voss getting it done tonight, combined between the two, 20 points. 39-25. Second free throw for Voss. She hits them both. Quick inbounds with 2 seconds. Rude. And there'll be no last second heat from Sandell. And that is the end of the third quarter, with Vermillion leading it by 15, 40-25. The fourth quarter comes up in 60 seconds here on Vermillion Streaming.
Save means you're sort of protecting yourself. My mom and dad told me how to be safe. It's like super duper important. Hold a grown-up's hands. Put a helmet on because you might hurt your head super duper bad.
Protect their future by protecting yours with your local State Farm agent, Dick Sunday.
Need a new set of tires? Look to Carlson's Body Shop in Beersford. How about some accessories like WeatherTech floor mats, Access roll-up truck covers, bed liners, remote car starters, and thousands of other products. Hey, you can look at everything at your convenience online too at carlsonsbodyshop.com. No wonder the song says,
Bring it down to Carlson's Body Shop, your complete car care center.
Vermillion able to hit some buckets late in the third quarter to extend it back to a 15-point lead, but Lennox certainly got back into it in the third quarter, outscoring the Tangers 15-11, and at one point had outscored the Tangers 11-3 in that third quarter. Now Vermillion will begin with the basketball as we're underway here in the fourth quarter on Vermillion Streaming. Casey Hansen has it. Get it over to Cleveland. Now to Brooke Jensen in the near corner. Back out to Livy Regneris. Great to have you along here on Vermillion Streaming, exclusively on Vermillion Streaming tonight, since USD women's basketball is coming up at 7:30. The left-handed layup from Casey Hansen is knocked in with 8 seconds on the shot clock. With that, Casey Hansen now has 4 points in the ball game, 42-25, 7:20 fourth quarter. Also have to be thinking about our Latte Da player of the game for the Vermillion Tanagers. Certainly a couple in my mind already. Three-pointer from Hansen knocks it down. Hansen has been big for the Lennox Orioles. Now has 10 points in the ball game. Also, Alicia Rude has 10 points as well for the Orioles, as the two who are tied for the leading scorers for Lennox. Pass is going to be tipped in the air by Hansen. It will go out of bounds. Will stay with the Vermillion Tangers. 6:49 here in the fourth quarter. 42-28, 16 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Reason why we didn't go to ESPN Radio tonight, even if we could have got this Vermillion girls game in time, just didn't want to mess with anything back in the studios to make it easy and convenient for the USD women's basketball team. And by the way, the USD men's basketball team at the SCSC about to get things tipped off. Regner's jumper for her. Hits it again. Regner's coming into the basketball game. Averages just under 3 points. She now has 7 tonight. And now a quick whistle from the official as Tangers get a little too close for comfort. 44-28, the foul will be on Jensen, picking up her second personal and the fourth team foul. 44-28, 6:25, fourth quarter. In the backcourt, it's Peters. Guarded closely by Livy Regnerus. Still Peters along the near sideline to Sandell. Underhand tosses it to Hansen. Around the perimeter. Back to the top with Kuiper. Now to Sandell. Sandell at the free throw line. And back out. Lennox works it. Hansen. Chandler Cleveland, though. The defense steals it away. Chandler, after putting up 15 points on Tuesday night, has been held in check. Just 2 points for her so far this evening. It's Livy Regnerus, Brooke Jensen, back out to Livy Regnerus. Regnerus trying to get to Leah Herbster, goes beyond the reach of her. Another turnover for Vermillion. Again, Vermillion did so well in that first quarter, putting up 20 points. Since then, they have put up just 24. 5:43, fourth quarter. They still hold a nice lead right now over Lennox, though. 44-28, and now quick foul against Peters as she threw her elbow trying to get around Brooke Jensen. So Peters picks up her second personal and the sixth team foul. And Vermillion will have it in the front court along the baseline. Trying to keep adding more to this lead. They've outscored Lennox 4-3 here in this fourth quarter. Quick inbounds to Jensen. Right back to Regnerus. Now to Hansen. Back to Livy Regnerus, over to Jensen, three-pointer for her. Swish! Brooke Jensen, with that, hits double figures for tonight with 10 points. And now a timeout from head coach John Brooks. And we'll take the timeout with them. Vermillion leads it 47-28. We're back in 60 seconds on
Machine in Beersford is your full-service quality John Deere dealer. From the latest John Deere combines and tractors to lawn equipment you can count on, Peterson Machine in Beersford will bring you the best value for your dollar, along with professional service and parts to keep you going. Check out the big selection of used equipment as well. Need a hard-working farm hand? Peterson Machine also carries a full line of Polaris ATVs and UTVs ready for the toughest jobs. No matter what the job, Polaris keeps you going. Check the full inventory at petersonmachine.com.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment is your locally owned and operated ready mix company. Their specialty, 6x6 front discharge mixer trucks that allows for better placement of concrete and ease of use. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment offers the highest quality of concrete products and aggregates, and also a full-service dealer for low-gun equipment featuring telehandlers, excavators, and ASB track skid loaders for purchase or rent. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment, East Highway 50, Vermillion.
Back here on Vermillion streaming, it's 47-28, 5:26, fourth quarter. While we have a quick chance, let's take a look at scores from around the state of South Dakota as one is underway for the DAC 12. Beersford playing against Tri-Valley. Beersford leads it right now 41-32 with 3 minutes left there in the third quarter. Another big game coming up tonight inside the DAC 12. West Central is taking on Crofton from the state of Nebraska. That one is set to get underway at 7:30 up at the Coliseum in West Central. 5:09, fourth quarter here. Lennox with the possession. A pass almost stolen away by Chandler Cleveland, but the Orioles recover with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Three-pointer from Sandell. She misses, and it's going to be going right back up with it, and fouled is Rude. The foul comes against Leah Herbster. Otherwise, another big matchup coming up tonight for the DAC 12. Sioux Falls Christian takes on T-Area. Lady Titans has certainly been under a busy schedule as well as of late. Another game of interest with Vermillion playing Parkston on Friday night. Right now, they are trailing against Wagner 33-20 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter there. First free throw was hit, and second one as well for Alicia Rude, as she now has 12 points in the ball game, 47-30, 4:50 fourth quarter. Well, a comeback is still not out of the cards, but the nail in the coffin is coming close for the Vermillion Tanagers. Like to put this one away. Pass over to Jensen will go out of bounds. They say last touch by Jensen. Voss will come in, and Livy Regneris will come out of the basketball game. 47-30, 4:36 fourth quarter. Now Lennox, they need to go on a big run and start hitting some big shots. Has to start right here. Hurlin to Peters. Peters at the elbow, tries to make a pass. It's stolen away by Voss. Then she loses the dribble, and picking it right back up is Hansen. 47-30, 4:15 fourth quarter. Orioles need something, and they need it right now. Hurlin makes the pass to Peters, down to Hansen. Hansen off the glass, and she's fouled by Casey Hansen. Count the bucket. 12 points in the ball game for Ryan Hansen, and she has the old-fashioned three-point play upcoming. 47-32. Quick substitution as Rude will come out of the basketball game, and checking back in will be Sweeter. Here comes Hansen, and she'll hit the free throw. 13 points for her tonight. 47-33, 4:03 fourth quarter. Again, it's not out of reach yet for Lennox. They still have an opportunity. Vermillion trying to ice this one right now. Chandler Cleveland over to Brooke Jensen, and a reach-in foul called. It is now the 7th team foul on Lennox, which now gives Vermillion bonus the rest of the ball game. By the way, the foul is now called on Hansen, picking up her second personal. Don't forget the Vermillion boys play right afterwards against Lennox. We'll hear in our our pregame conversation with head coach Jay Drake. First free throw for Brooke Jensen. She hits this one, now giving her 11 points in the ball game, tying for the leading scorer with Brooklyn Voss. Second free throw is good for Jensen. So she's now the leading scorer for the Tanagers. 49-33, 3:47, fourth quarter. Lennox needs a bucket, and they need it quickly. It's Sweeter over to Hurlin, down to Hansen. Pass is going to be tipped, though. Last touched by Leah Herbster. 3:36 as the Orioles glance back up at the clock once again. Hurlin trying to find somebody to inbound. Finally get it to Kuiper. Back to Hurlin on the far sideline. To Kuiper, down to the low block with Hansen. Over to Peters. Catch and shoot three. This is off the heel of the iron. Battle for the rebound. Voss is finally able to come away with it. No, she stepped out of bounds as she pushed Leah Herbster out of the way to collect it. Now Janaea Cleveland and Kenzie Mulheron will come back into the ball game. Chandler Cleveland and Leah Herbster will come out. 49-33, 3:21, fourth quarter. Again, Vermillion trying to get a big victory. Big victory inside the DAC-12 and the region as well. Is it camouflage night here in Lennox, or is it hunting night? Nonetheless, they brought a hunter's tent here for the student section. I guess as long as you're not blocking anybody's vision, it's all right. Free throw from Kuiper is off the mark. Are they going to make him take it down? I don't know. It's almost like a parent over there saying something. Maybe a teacher. Second free throw. This one is hit from Drew Kuiper, giving her 3 points for the evening. 49-34. Don't forget the Latte Dot player of the game is coming up right after this as well. 3:09 fourth quarter. It's a 15-point lead for the Tanagers. They have all but won this one. The Tanagers are going to keep their winning streak alive. 4 straight in a row. Move to 8-2 on the season. As again, this is the halfway mark for the Vermillion girls. And certainly has been an impressive first 10 games that they have put together. 49-34. Quick substitution as Kuiper will come out. And Rude checks back into the ball game. It'll be Root to inbound the basketball to Peters. Peters quickly into the front court across the timeline. They now work it over to Sweeter, back to the top. Again, you talk about a Lennox team that will continue to battle the adversity this year of going through injuries. They have missed 3 starters due to injuries, including a couple big seniors on this squad. Peters tries to make a pass. It slips through her fingertips. And it's going to be picked up by Jensen on the ground. Gets over to Mulherrin. And Tanagers, they can start working more and more of this clock. It's Voss over to Mulherrin. Get it back to the top with Casey Hansen. Hansen in the lane to Voss. Voss has it stripped out of her hands. And it's picked up by Lennox. But here comes Mulherrin, who's able to steal it away to Jensen. Jensen trying to get the reverse layup. She leaves it short. And then a foul is called. Against the Orioles, a 1-and-1 opportunity for Vermillion with Casey Hansen, where she is 2 of 6 this evening in the ball game. The foul, by the way, comes against Peters, picking up now her 3rd personal and the 8th team foul. Casey Hansen with free throws upcoming. Puts it up, and the first one rattles around, hits off the glass, and falls back down and in. So Casey Hansen, again, who averages over 12 points a ball game, has been held in check, just 5 for her this evening. Second free throw, knocks this one down, giving her 6 for the ball game. And now she will come out. Livy Wright-Naris will come back in with 2:08. I have to believe we will not see Casey Hansen again, and she'll finish with 6 points in the evening, all coming in this second half. 51-34. A quick steal away once again by the Tanagers. It's Brooklyn Voss. Voss down to Jensen. Jensen goes up with it, and she's able to finish it off. Brooke Jensen now 7 points in this fourth quarter, 14 for the ball game. 53-34. It's a 19-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. So again, the Vermillion girls are going to move to 8-2 on their season. It's controlled with Hansen, who's on the ground trying to make a pass. Works it all the way back out to Hurlin as she was in trouble there. Had 3 different Tanagers around her, but able to squeeze out of it. 53-34. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and now a pass in the lane is going to be tipped, stolen away by Vermillion. Voss with 1:15 remaining in the fourth quarter, and now head coach John Brooks is going to call a timeout, and Claire Doty will check into the ball game as Brooke Jensen will check out. Good to see Claire come back in. She was going to be potentially a starter this year, but went through a knee injury late in the volleyball season and was not available at the beginning of this year. And now also a couple more substitutions as Tally Barta will come into the ball game, along with Bailey Baylor will check in. What a great run the Vermillion girls have been on. Again, their 4th game in 6 days. Can you believe it? It's been 4 straight victories, including it all started last Friday with an upset victory over the Parkston Trojans. Again, no starters currently on the court for the Vermillion Tanagers. It's Janaea Cleveland who has it, trying to get by Hurlin, and ball is going to be tied up. I believe that's just the 2nd time this evening that we have seen a jump ball called. Possession arrow favors the way of Lennox. 53-34, 1:01, fourth quarter. And the final 60 seconds roll away, with Lennox also having their backups currently on the court. Coming up here in just a moment, we'll get to our Latte Da player of the game. A 3-pointer is off the mark and will go out of bounds. Who do you have your mind set on tonight as the player of the game? Now, we do always try to give it to someone new, and it will certainly be someone new tonight. I can tell you that much. Claire Doty has it over to Barta, to Janaea Cleveland. So again, this is JV versus JV. Lennox got a 16-point victory earlier in the JV game. Claire Doty to Barta. 10 seconds on the shot clock. To Doty. Claire thinks about shooting the 3, decides not to take it. Now Janaea Cleveland with 3 seconds. Back out to Claire. She'll shoot the 3. This one is off the mark. Rebounded by Lennox. And we'll go with our final 7 seconds and rolling. Hurling into the front court. swing it over to the far side with 1 second. Hurl in the last second heave. It's not going to quite get there. And Vermillion gets the victory, 53-34. It's now a 4-game winning streak for the Vermillion girls, and also in the last 6 days, 4 straight victories for Vermillion. Again, your final score is 53-34 here in Lennox. Game number 2 of our doubleheader is coming up here in just a little bit. But right now, let's get to our final game numbers and our Latte Da player of the game. It's going to go to someone who's put up 10 points this evening, all coming in the first half, and that is Leah Herbster, as she hit not one, but her first 2 varsity 3-pointers of her career, both coming in that second quarter. She also gave a quick spark to the Vermillion girls in that first quarter. But again, she finishes with 10 in the ball game. The leading scorer tonight for the Vermillion Tangers was Brooke Jensen. She finished with 14 points. Brooklyn Voss off the bench added another 11. Again, Tangers put 3 in double digits with Leah Herbster. Otherwise, 6 points on the evening for Casey Hansen. 7 points for Livy Regnaris. Chandler Cleveland finished with 2 points. Also a free throw from Kenzie Mulheron. And to round out the scoring, Janaea Cleveland finished with 2 points. In fact, 8 different Tangers finished with points for tonight. And again, your final here in Lennox, 53-34. All right, we're going to step aside for 2 minutes. And when we come back, it's head coach Jay Drake and our pregame show brought to you by the Core Insurance Group with Debbie Profrock and Russell Olson. That's on the way in 2 minutes on Vermillion Streaming.
Customize your washer for any load and wash the way you want. Industry First Innovation and Design lets you remove the agitator to wash a bulky load that needs more space and easily swap it back in whenever you want. It's twice the wash action options and twice the washer you have at home.
Find this and other Whirlpool and Maytag appliances at Merce Appliance in Vermillion.
If you're considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimony.
Electric Service with shops in Pierre and Vermillion. We are Electric Service with shops in Pierre and Vermillion. We offer a full spectrum of electrical Electric Service with shops in Pierre and Vermillion. We offer a full spectrum of electrical services covering Central, North Central, and Southeast South Dakota. We are licensed, insured, and ready to work on your agricultural, commercial, or residential project. Need a quote? Give us a call. Todd's Electric Service, the line to power.
You don't need an illness to need a doctor. You don't need to feel sick to feel better. You don't need to be unwell to get well. What you do need is a primary care physician or provider at Sanford Health. Better health care starts with regular wellness visits and a familiar face who knows you, your concerns, and your goals. We're here before you need us. We're here when you need us. We're here after you need us. We're here for you. Sanford Health. Health lives here.
It's time for game number 2 of our doubleheader tonight here on Vermillion Streaming with YouTube, as we now get you set for the boys game. Vermillion coming into tonight's contest at 5-1, whereas the Lennox Orioles currently sit at 7-1. And inside the Region 4, it's even closer, with Lennox right now in 3rd place, Vermillion in 4th place. It certainly is tight towards the top and should be a great game this evening. Let's turn our attention here on the Core Insurance pregame show to head coach Jay Drake talking about this big matchup and referencing back the past couple of years playing against the Lennox Orioles and how this continues to build into bigger and bigger of a rivalry. Here he is on the Core Insurance pregame show. It's head coach of the Vermillion Boys, Jay Drake. Joined with head coach Jay Drake getting ready for this huge matchup between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. Coach Drake, though, let's talk about something that has been going on in the school since last week, since you've come back from vacation. That is COVID-19, having to be masked up at school, going through kind of what we saw last year. How have the guys handled that situation, and how has practice been going, trying to keep everybody healthy at this time?
Yeah, obviously with the pandemic, and we went through it as a society, a world, starting getting close to 2 years now. But it kind of over Christmas break, like you said, I think just within communities and in schools and stuff, and we've reached our threshold in our school district and have gone to all masks and. Even in our basketball program, having a guy here or there, just, trying to keep an eye on symptoms and everything. So it's always a concern, until this COVID, the last few years, basketball coaches would, be concerned during the winter months of flus and colds and stuff. And you always seem to have a stretch during the season where it might kind of run through your team a little bit, and you just hope to get through it the best you can. And obviously, last year we were very fortunate as a team. Sometimes you just got to be lucky on some things, but had a little illness here, and we're just trying to keep our guys as healthy as we can, and not just as a program, but as a school and community. Obviously, it's always at the forefront of our minds and everything, and you just got to try to keep moving forward, but staying as safe as possible.
Well, last Friday, took on the Parkston Trojans, got a win 68-49. Not necessarily ever really putting the Parkston Trojans away, but seemed like taking care of business besides kind of the end of quarters, as you mentioned in our postgame. But now we focus on the Lennox Orioles, a great team. We know that they kind of took a step down last year, just getting those younger guys older. And now, of course, another year underneath their belt, a lot of seniors, a team that's only taken one loss, 7-1 overall. How much is this a team of Lennox that we saw from 2 years ago where you lost during the regular season but got an upset in the region?
Yeah, one, they're obviously a really good basketball team, and, we've talked in the past about just our conference, but also our region, and, you mentioned 2 years ago we were the 4 seed, they were the 1 seed. We lost a close one at their place in the regular season and then got them in the region semis. And, looking back 2 years ago, I think we felt that we had 4 teams in our region that were state tournament caliber teams. And I think it's very similar this year, and at EPJ, who we'll see next week, but they're off to a really nice start as well at 5-2. But, Lennox is new coach this year with Coach Buck Miller. He came over. He's been an assistant at Roosevelt in the past for the boys program, and now has done a good job. And there's a lot of excitement. And we knew no matter who's coaching them, they would have a very good basketball team this year. They lost the older Ike kid a year ago, but other than that, all these guys were kids we saw in the region semis last year and in the regular season, and they really battled us in the region semis last year. It was still, it was a 6-point game at halftime, and I think we pushed it to 11-12 at the end of the third and then kind of wore them down and busted it open in the fourth quarter. But good basketball team. They're off to a great start. I know just like us and DV and T and probably an EPJ, we all think we are capable of getting to a state tournament this year, and yet the reality of it is only 2 of us are even going to get to a SODAC 16, and that's just the way it goes. But it starts with the Enan kid. It seems like, he's only a sophomore, but it seems like he's been around forever so far. He came off the bench, played a lot of minutes as an 8th grader. Last year as a freshman started and was their leading scorer and rebounder, and he's doing the same thing this year and coming off a big game. We haven't played since last Friday. Their last game was last Saturday against Pine Ridge, but the Enan kid had 41 points in the first half, and they broke that thing open, and he finished with 45. So really going to have to defend him, and we're going to have to get out. They've been knocking down a lot of threes, and they got a lot of three-point shooters, which is a concern because in our T game, that was kind of the thing that we didn't stop the drive, and they were able to kick out to shooters, and obviously T knocked them down, and we were kind of struggling from behind all night due to that. So guarding Enan and contesting 3-point shots would be huge keys tonight.
What else can you tell us about Coach Buckmiller? What are we going to see from his defensive presence?
Yeah, they really get after you, and they can do that. They'll play 9-10 guys. They're all good athletes. They've got some physicality to them, good quickness. They can pick up full court, I'm sure, and kind of try to run and jump. They've a solid half-court man. They've shown some 1-3-1 zone where they'll trap out of it at times. And even some zone press with a 1-2-2 and 1-2-1-1. So, like anything, we tell our guys, and hopefully we're prepared for it. But you got to expect pressure at all times at different levels of the floor, and be ready to attack pressure right now. And we're going to have to handle that. Just their athleticism and quickness and they're good athletes. Not only good athletes, but the thing I really respect about the program and these kids of Lennox is they compete, and you see it in all sports, but they don't back down to anyone, and they keep coming at you, and they're going to make you go a full 32 minutes, and that's what good teams do, and we'd like to think we do the same thing to our opponents. So when you get two teams competing like that, it makes for a good high school basketball game.
Well, going even off that point more, you look back to last Tuesday, it seemed at points you were competed nicely with the T-area Titans, but at other points the Titans were able just to kind of trade buckets. Otherwise, you haven't necessarily been in that close contest yet this season where it comes down to that final couple of minutes in the fourth quarter. But for tonight, I do expect that. I expect going back to 2 years ago when we looked at the region playoffs, we looked at the regular season. We know that your team has been tested the past couple of seasons, but what does it take for this team to finish off a close basketball game, not only for tonight, but ultimately this season?
Yeah, that's the big X factor for our team and our guys, and kind of the growing as a basketball team and as players, and kind of the learning curve here. You mentioned, we kind of hung in there with T, but we had lapses at times, just breakdowns physically, but also mentally, slow on some rotations, and in games like this, and it should be this way every night, obviously, but there's sometimes you get away with things that we aren't, as coaches, aren't real happy about, but maybe you're just the better basketball team than your opponent. But in matchups like tonight, you have to just be mentally locked in, can't have lapses, and really on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. All it takes is a 1 or 2 minute spurt where maybe you just are really bad for 2 minutes defensively, and you give up a little 8-0 run or 10-0 run, or on the other side, if we go a few minutes where you're not scoring the basketball and not getting good possessions, or you're having costly turnovers that lead to easy ones at the other end for our opponent. Those are things that can really, it's a 32-minute game, but people forget sometimes you're going to battle, and I expect both teams battling for 32 minutes, but you can kind of win or lose games with spurts like that too, and they can happen at any point in the basketball game. That kind of changes the whole complexion and the way the look of the game is, and really what each team can do offensively and defensively, being able to dictate some things. So got to stay locked in. We feel we've got some guys still learning. We think we got room to grow there, but the mental aspect of the game and staying dialed in, not just on the floor, but like all guys on the bench, and knowing, understanding situations, like you mentioned, end of quarter situations. Those are huge keys. We got away with it against Parkston the other night, but we gave up 7 points at the end of quarters where, if anything, we should have been the ones scoring the basketball, and that could have, we told our guys that was could have been a 13, 14-point swing, because if we score at the end of the quarters, obviously they don't get the bucket. Instead, they ended up scoring. Worst case, there should have been, since the ball was in our hands, no points scored, and you just kind of break even. But you can't be on the negative end of those things. So all the little things. That's the nice thing. A game like tonight is, obviously you'll have a box score and a stat sheet at the end of the game, but games like tonight, at the end of the night, are won by which team did the little things that maybe don't show up in the box score, which team does them better.
Once again, that's head coach Jay Drake certainly will be a fun atmosphere. Look forward to also a very close contest between these two teams. It certainly is going to be a great game for our doubleheader tonight here in Lennox. We're going to step aside on Vermillion Streaming, and when we come back, we get you into the opening tip, starting lineups, and more here on Vermillion Streaming. Perfect night of sleep can be found with Slumberland's Sleep Solutions Center. Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy all feature. Don't lose another night of sleep. Stop by Slumberland of Yankton. Looking to update the family room? Look no further than Yankton Slumberland, Lazy Boy, Flex Steel Furniture, and more. All at your hometown furniture store. That's Slumberland of Yankton.
Okay, Tanagers fans, it's that time again. Time to bank some noise for this game break with First Dakota National Bank. Give me a B for this much-needed bathroom break. Squeal with delight because your 8-hour pork ribs are ready. Throw your hands in the air because you've been sitting a while and need to stretch. Bank some noise with us at First Dakota. Open a new account online today at firstdakota.com, member FDIC.
Certainly a much anticipated game tonight as we get you set for this matchup between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. Look forward to a very exciting game, as we mentioned, as this one has been circled on the calendar for some time, as the Vermillion boys coming into this game sitting at 5-1 overall, whereas the Lennox Orioles are 7-1 overall. And again, you talk about how big this one has implications when it comes to the region and also the DAC 12. Right now, Lennox finds themselves in 3rd place inside the region. Vermillion is in 4th place. Certainly a tough contest as well for the Vermillion boys. Their only other really game they have been tested, as we heard from head coach Jay Drake, was earlier on this season when they played against the T-Area Titans. And again, we talk about that game, and that is one where they lost at. So really trying to get things corrected for the Vermillion boys and just try to find a convincing win. That will be the big task tonight for Vermillion. For Lennox, they have also been through a little bit of a test, but this will be one of their biggest games they have seen this season. All right, let's get into our starting lineups for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. We'll begin with the home team. That, of course, is Lennox. Tonight, it will be some familiar names that we have heard for the past couple of seasons. Tonight, it'll be number 4, Jackson Alt, the 5'10 senior guard. Number 5, Braden Wolf, the 6'3 junior forward. Number 13, Stephen Christian, the 6'1 senior forward. Number 14, Carter Van Houten, the 6' senior guard. And number 23, Porter Enan, as we heard, put up 41 points on Saturday night. He is the 6'5 sophomore guard for the Lennox Orioles. For the Vermillion Tanagers, it is their 5 seniors tonight, and look for some big points from all 5 seniors, including the starting lineup. Number 12, Charlie Ward, the 6' guard. Number 33, Jake Jensen, the 6'3 guard. Number 34, Carter Marth, the 6'2 senior guard. Number 35, TJ Tracy, the 6'2 guard. And number 40, Nick Sorensen, the 6'5 senior forward. The Tanagers are coached by Jay Drake, along with assistant coaches John Roovers, Louis Budmayer, and also James Drake, along with the manager John Manning. We are set and ready to roll for tonight. Again, Vermillion 5-1 on the season, where Lennox is sitting at 7-1. We go back to 2 years ago when we found ourselves in this gym. It was Vermillion getting an upset for the ages and punching their ticket to the SODAC 16. We'll see if Vermillion can get a good win tonight, or if it's Lennox on their home court that can take care of business. By the way, a quick look with 6:50 remaining in the first half. It's USD that leads it over Denver in men's basketball action. A score right now of 32-20. We'll check back in with that later as the opening tip is underway, and it's won by Porter Enan and the Lennox Orioles. We're set for game number 2 of the evening. It's great to have you along here on Vermillion Streaming as a quick pass underneath is tapped back out
to Christian for Lennox. They work it around the perimeter, along the baseline. Now to Christian, wide open corner three. He misses everything, and they call those early game jitters. Carter Mart, who's been quiet here in the past couple of games, looking to kind of find a little bit of his rhythm tonight. Hands off to Charlie Ward. Again, Charlie Ward was not featured in this contest a year ago with that torn ACL. To Jake Jensen, back to Carter Mart. He shoots the three. This one is off the left of the iron, rebounded by Lennox. Quickly the opposite way. It's Porter Enan pushing the tempo. Back to the corner, three-pointer once again. This is another one off the mark. Both teams have shot 3 threes here. And so far, no points. And now a foul quickly given against Christian as he impeded the progress of Jake Jensen. So Christian picks up his first personal and the first team foul as well for the Lennox Orioles. Along the far sideline, right in front of the Lennox bench, which I believe is either hunting theme tonight or camo theme. I'm not quite for sure which one. It's TJ Tracy. Down to the low block. He goes up strong and able to finish it off. It's the first points for either team, and Vermillion leads it 2-0, 6:47 first quarter. As mentioned on pregame, I would not expect this one to get much above 6-7 points one direction. And now a pass that went out of bounds, they say, was last touched by Carter Mart as he tried to save it right in front of the Vermillion bench. Head coach Jay Drake gives his piece of advice to the official. And we're back underway. Controlled on the far side with the Orioles with Jackson Alt. Drives baseline. His space is cut off by Charlie Ward. Now to the streaking Wolf, and he can't finish at the rack. Lennox is coming up cold here in the first few possessions. Jake Jensen at the free throw line. Back to Charlie Ward. Inside the lane. Down to Mart. Now bounce pass to TJ Tracy. How about Mr. Tracy? All 4 points for the Tangers. 6-12 first quarter. In the backcourt, Jackson Alt trying to break the press, gets across the timeline, but then picks up his dribble. Now over to Christian. Back to the top to Jackson Alt. Alt guard closely by Tracy. The man defense from the Vermillion Tangers. To the corner with Christian. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Trying to get in is Eden. Back out with 8 seconds. To Wolf, over to Christian. To the corner with Enan. Now drives baseline, trying to get his pass over to the far corner with Jackson Alt. It's tipped out of bounds. And with that, it's 1.6 remaining on the shot clock. Lennox needs a catch and shoot opportunity. Jackson looking for someone, gets it deep to Wolf, and Wolf is going to get just off in time, but the three-pointer is off the mark once again. And Vermillion is upset with their coaches that the shot clock did not roll sooner. Wolf should have never gotten the three-pointer off in time. It's Jensen over to TJ Tracy to Carter Mart. Nonetheless, Tanger coaches can't be too mad. It was a missed three-pointer. Tracy drives in. He leaves this one short off the left of the iron. Rebounded by Lennox. 4-0, 5-12 first quarter. Enan hands it off to his teammate, Carter Van Houten, the first time we've called his name tonight. Now to Christian, to Jackson Alt. Again, the man defense working nicely, and now it's going to be a foul away from the ball called on the Lennox Orioles. And the Tanger bench up once again, including those coaches, to make sure that was called. John Roovers and Louis Budmeyer been busy on the sideline, helping out head coach Jay Drake, who, as we saw him so far this season, using a play card once again tonight. Calls a little bit of nerves, a little bit of old habit that he goes back to that play card. Jake Jensen swings it over to TJ Tracy. Back to Jensen at the O logo. 4:44 first quarter. It's 4-0. Carter Mart to TJ Tracy. Tracy driving along baseline. Gets his man up in the air, and he's going to travel. He was looking for the foul on Porter Enan. But instead, travel is called, and it will give it back to the Lennox Orioles. 4:35 first quarter, and now a quick foul as Tangers bring the press. Didn't want to let Lennox get across the timeline. The foul will be called on Charlie Ward, picking up his first personal and the first team foul. So 2 fouls on Lennox, 1 on Vermillion. Again, the Vermillion girls in this doubleheader tonight already got their victory. They moved to 8-2 on the season and continue their winning streak, now 4 games in a row. With it is Braden Wolf. To Jackson Alt. Now to the corner once again with Enan, guarded closely by Nick Sorensen, who's just face guarding him, keeping his eyes locked in anything that Enan wants to do. Back over, Enan the three-pointer, swish! Porter Enan got just a slight bit of space away from Nick Sorensen and is able to cash it in. Quickly the opposite way, it's Jensen. Now down to the block. Nick Sorensen goes up strong with his right arm and able to finish. 6-3, 3:55 first quarter. The press on once again by the Tangers. And finally, the Orioles break it as they get it up to Connor Ike. Ike over to his teammate Van Houten. Back to Ike, three-pointer for him. Contact was made, hits the shot clock. Contact, though, was made by Carter Mart, no foul. And now Zone Robinson will come in as Carter Mart will check out of the ball game. 6-3, 3:40 first quarter. 4 points for TJ Tracy for the Vermillion Tangers, 2 points for Nick Sorensen, just a three-pointer for Porter Enan for the Lennox Orioles. Again, Lennox coming into this tonight's game 7-1 overall. The Vermillion Tangers are 5-1. And now an over and back is called as Charlie thought his hand was bumped and knocked away from him, but the official sees it differently, and it's a turnover. Neither team has really been able to find that rhythm so far, and this is a defensive game, which usually favors the way of Vermillion. It's Jackson Alt, over now to Porter Enan, to the corner, three-pointer for Van Houten, swish! The corner near side has been successful for the Orioles, and we're tied once again. 6-6. 3:09 first quarter. We haven't been tied since the deadlock as we began. And now it looks like Jake Jensen has rolled his ankle. He stepped on somebody in the lane as he made the pass to Nick Sorensen. And he is going to have to come out. He is still putting pressure, though, on the leg, which is a good indication that you just going to have to let this one work its own way out. Carter Mart will come back into the ball game. By the way, there was a foul, and Nick Sorensen will head to the free throw line to shoot two. The foul was called against Talon Derricks. By the way, if you do not know this about Lennox, they will go about 4 or 5 deep into their bench with the new head coach of Buckmiller. Free throw upcoming for Nick Sorensen. Throws this one up. He missed the first and misses the second, but Zone Robinson there to tip it back out to Nick Sorensen. Vermillion with another possession. TJ Tracy three-pointer. This one rattles around, but doesn't fall true. 2:52 first quarter. Quickly the opposite way. It's Porter Enan over Van Houten. He shoots another three. This one's off the mark. And TJ Tracy collects towards the top of the arc. And now Jake Jensen, by the way, is going to go get some ice as he is headed into the locker room. So we will see Jake Jensen out for some time, which is not good for the Vermillion Tangers. He averages 16 points a ball game. Zone Robinson picks up his dribble, looking for someone to pass to. Finally back out to TJ Tracy. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Tracy dribbling between the legs. Now hands it off to Charlie Ward. Using the screen, Ward, the off-balance three is fouled, and 3 free throws are upcoming for Charlie Ward in the Vermillion Tangers. More importantly, though, it is now the 4th team foul on Lennox. This one comes against Jackson Alt. Carter Skogsberg ready to check in here in just a moment. Have to believe he'll make way for Nick Sorensen. 2:19. First free throw, knocked through for Charlie Ward. That's also his first point of the ball game. 7-6, 2:19 first quarter. We'll keep you up to date on scores from across the state of South Dakota and also down in Vermillion as the USD Coyotes are in action. The USD Women's Pregame show has been underway for about 15 minutes now. By the way, no, TJ Tracy is taken out as Connor Skogsberg will come in. I believe his left shoe might also be untied. Maybe that's just the way I looked at it. And Charlie Ward hits all 3 free throws. 9-6. So it's almost as though Charlie hit a three-pointer. Van Houten dribbles it to the top of the arc. Now they swing it over to Derricks. Back to Porter Enan, guarded closely by Nick Sorensen. Back out, three-pointer, nothing but nylon. Collected on this one is Connor Ike. And we're tied once again. Again, do not expect this one to get to a 6-point lead, or I should say a 7-point lead or more, one way or the other. And now head coach Buckmiller will use a timeout for the Lennox Orioles. It will be just a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Runnings in Vermillion, along with Kalen's Indoor Comfort, and also Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment, along with AMS Building Systems, here exclusively on Vermillion Streaming tonight. We'll also keep you up to date on scores from across the state of South Dakota in Class A. A lot of great games going on inside the DAC 12 and Region 4. One that is underway. Madison and Flanger right now are tied at 14 as they start the second quarter. Another big one that's been underway for some time, but no score update. Dakota Valley and Hardington Cedar Catholic. Talk about more coming up here in a little bit, as well as get you to girl scores at the Vermillion Booster halftime show. 9-9 here in Lennox, 140 first quarter. A tall pass for Charlie Ward. He has to try to save it, just throws it right to an Oriole. Here comes the Orioles the opposite way with Alt over Van Houten. Now to Porter Enan. Enan to the corner, three-pointer, knocks it down is Derricks. All 12 points for the Lennox Orioles have come from the three-point line. That's where they're going to live and die. 12-9, 1-12 first quarter. It's reverse layup, knocked down from Nick Sorensen. He's got 4 points in the ball game. 12-11. Lennox having their first lead here in this quarter. It's Van Houten back out to Derricks. No, Carter Marr almost steals it away. Lennox, though, retains possession and will reset the offense with Porter Enan. Enan to the elbow. Now to the corner. Back out to Jackson Alt. Alt to the corner once again. Three-pointer. You betcha. They just can't miss right now in the corner. Connor Ike now has 6 points. Again, all 15 for Lennox have come from beyond the arc. It's 15-11, 25 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 3 seconds that separate the shot clock from the game clock. It's Zone Robinson, who has it at the top of the key. Robinson will hand it off to Charlie Ward. Ward guarded closely by Jackson Alt. Down to the elbow, and a foul is going to be called. No, a turnover by Charlie Ward with 7 seconds remaining. 15-11. Here comes the Lennox Orioles trying to add to their lead. It's Enan who has it. Enan drives to the elbow, and now contact is made, and a foul against Nick Sorensen, picking up his first personal and the second team foul. 1.8 remaining here in the first quarter. So it'll be a quick inbounds for Lennox and try to get a bucket right before the end of the quarter. High to Enan. Enan, turn around at the buzzer. It's off the mark. But Lennox leads it by 4, 15-11, as we head to the second quarter. That comes up in 60 seconds exclusively on Vermillion Streaming.
Pump and Pack told me to keep this video simple, so I don't need to tell you about the great selections on drinks. You probably already know he has a South Dakota DMV Now kiosk to renew your license plates. Snacks, too many of those to even mention. Oh, and when you fill up at Pump and Pack, Kevin gives a portion of the money back to a charity. I guess I really don't know what to talk about. Simple enough. Pump and Pack in Vermillion.
Let's be real. You have a business to run, people to pay, money to make, and a life to balance. Good thing you also have First Bank and Trust. With our cash management solutions, you can issue payroll, accept payments, and manage cash flow, all while tapping into some of the best fraud prevention tools available. When managing a business is easier for you, so is managing a family. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Vermillion opened up nicely in this first quarter, but Lennox was able to hold around, and more importantly, listen, first quarter all come from beyond the arc. You ever heard of that one before? It's 15-11. We're underway as after rolling his ankle early in that first quarter, Jake Jensen is back there out on the court. Jake Jensen at the elbow, over to Charlie Ward, wide open three for him, and you know he's not going to miss. Charlie Ward with 6 points in the ball game, draws it within 1. Here comes Enan quickly the opposite way, down to block. Oh, he traveled. He traveled trying to split a double team, took 2 steps, then jumped up in the air. Nonetheless, he eventually throws up the shot that goes off the bottom of the bucket and out of bounds. So Vermillion will cash it in. Within the end, no turnover, but also no points resulting. Jake Jensen gets across the O logo to TJ Tracy with the first 4 points for Vermillion. His turnaround shot, he's going to be fouled in the lane and spins on his butt. He will head to the free throw line. The foul will be called against Ike, which will be his first personal. It's the 5th team foul on Lennox. In fact, no Oriole has picked up more than 1 foul. Tracy's first free throw is through. So give him 5 points for the ball game, and we're tied once again. The score 15-15, 7-18 here in the first half. Second free throw, Tracy hits them both, and Vermillion will take back the lead. In fact, they begin on a 5-0 run here in the first 40 seconds of this second quarter. Again, living and dying by the three-point line. Jackson Alt trying to save it. He was spinning around on the ground and will go out of bounds, and it will give the ball back to the Vermillion Tanagers. So a quick turnover for the Lennox Orioles. And the backcourt, Jake Jensen has it, trying to get past Porter Enan, the 6'5" frame of Enan. Jensen puts an elbow in, back out to Mart. He shoots the 3. This one's off the heel of the iron ball. Battled for in the air. Pulling it down is Porter Enan. Here comes Lennox the opposite way now with Jackson Alt. Gonna make his pass over to Porter Enan. Enan getting instructions from Jackson to the corner. Van Houten, 3-pointer. This one is off the mark and rebounded by TJ Tracy. Again, I cannot stress this enough. I've never seen this before in a game that Lennox has not scored a bucket that hasn't come from beyond the three-point line. Jake Jensen has it, guarded closely by Porter Enan, working it to Nick Sorensen. Sorensen to Carter Mart. Mart with 13 seconds on the shot clock, trying to set up the offense. Now pass over to Jake Jensen. No, it was tipped. They say last by Jensen. Porter Enan was there on the defense, but they say it was last out on Jake, and Vermillion on that offense possession really never got things set up correctly. 16-15, a 1-point lead for the Tanagers, 6:04. 2 minutes now gone into this second quarter. It's Enan. He's going to back his way out. Enan almost has it knocked away by Jake Jensen. Now picks up his dribble. They work it over to the corner once again where they've already hit 3 3-pointers. It's Wolf along the baseline to the far corner. 3-pointer. Knocks it down once again is Ike. He now has 9 points. And once again, all 18 have come from beyond the arc for the Lennox Orioles. Jake Jensen. Jensen doing it all himself. Last second pass to TJ Tracy, and a charge taken in the lane as Jensen tried to make the pass. Jake will pick up his first personal and the 3rd team foul. Christian will come back into the ball game for Lennox, as coming out will be Jackson Plank. No, I'm sorry, that's Braden Wolf. 18-16, 5:30 second quarter. Lennox all 18 points from beyond the arc. It's Enan, drives down the low block, and a charge taken the opposite way. Taking the charge there is TJ Tracy. He gets up slowly. And Porter Enan picks up now his second personal and the 16th foul. And Porter Enan is going to have to come out of the ball game. Coming back in will be Derricks for Lennox. Vermillion trailing it by 2, 18-16, 5:20. Jake Jensen has it, in the backcourt, across the O logo. Still Jensen inside the lane, almost has it knocked away from him. Has to retreat and pick up the dribble to Carter Bart. Now down to Charlie Ward, who's being face guarded by Jackson Alt. It's still Charlie Ward looking for someone to pass to. Finally finds Jake Jensen. Jake Jensen, free throw line jumper. This one is off the mark. About for the rebound. TJ Tracy gets it. He's fouled. Can't finish it off, but he'll head to the free throw line to shoot 2. And now that's the 7th team foul. So bonus upcoming the rest of this first half. And the foul as well will be against Muser. So again, already 4 deep into the bench for Buck Miller, head coach of the Lennox Orioles. Free throw is good for TJ Tracy. Second free throw is up, knocks him down both. So the Tangers are at least getting it done from the free throw line. We're tied once again. TJ Tracy, 8 points in the ball game. 4:50, second quarter. It's Jackson Alt, who has been quiet. Guard closely by Charlie Ward. He drives in the lane, puts up a shot off balance, but he is fouled. Was it on the shot? They say so. The foul against Carter Mart. Does he have 4 there? Yep, Carter Mart picks up his first personal. 4th team foul. Here comes an opportunity for the first point from beyond the perimeter. And it is so. Jackson Alt hits the first point for Lennox tonight that has not come from beyond the 3-point line. 19-18, and also gives Lennox back that 1-point lead. Second free throw is good as well. Jackson Alt, his first 2 points of the ball game. 20-18, 4:42, second quarter. Zone Robinson checked in at the last free throw. Now a pass is almost stolen away. Charlie Ward slides on the ground like he does in baseball to retrieve the ball and get it back to Robinson. Over to Jensen. He'll shoot the 3. You betcha! Jake Jensen buries a 3. And with that, he now puts up his first points of the night, and Vermillion takes back their lead, 21-20. Christian over in the near corner. Back out to the top, Jackson Alt, the 3-pointer. Can't answer the Jake Jensen 3 back. And the Vermillion crowd starting to get into it a little bit more. The student sections have both been on their feet the entire game. Zone Robinson. This one's off the left of the iron. Rebounded by Christian. 3:57 second quarter. To Jackson Alt for Lennox. He has it. Free throw line extended. Far side. Back to Christian along the baseline. Back to the top. To the perimeter, 3-pointer. This one is knocked down once again. You just can't stop him. Connor Ike now 12 points in the ball game, all from beyond the 3-point line. 23-21. 3:33 second quarter. Charlie Ward inside the darkened perimeter. Back out to Jake Jensen. Trying to get it down to Nick Sorensen. It's tapped over the near corner to Charlie Ward, and now contact made and a foul called. It's the 8th team foul, so a 1-and-1 upcoming. The foul is called on Derricks, his second personal. And he'll have to come out of the basketball game. Also, Porter Eden, a key piece of this offense, has been spending a majority of this second quarter on the bench because of also foul trouble. Here comes Jake Jensen, the 1-1. Here in just a moment. Vermillion has committed 4 fouls. Again, this is the 8th team foul on the Lennox Orioles. 23-21. Jensen on the 1-and-1. It's up, and he misses the first, but it's going to be in rebound. No, a push from behind on TJ Tracy, who gets the foul, his first, in the 15. So on the 1-and-1, Jensen can't hit the first. Now Porter Eden will come back into the ball game. Muser will step out for Lennox. 23-21, 3:21, second quarter. Lennox has never had bigger than a 5-point lead. Vermillion never bigger than a 4-point lead. Jackson Alt at the elbow to Christian right in front of the Tanger bench. Picks up his dribble. Bounce pass to Porter Eden. Knocked away, though, by the long arms of Nick Sorensen. Charlie Ward quickly up to Robinson. Robinson splits a double team, and a foul is called. He can't knock in the bucket, but he will head to the free throw line. Now the 9th team foul. And Buck Miller has explained to the ref what he thinks on his opinion. His 9th team foul. 23-21. Here comes the Robinson Free throws, it will be 2 because it was a shooting foul. The first one knocked down. Zone has his first points of the evening. 23-22, 3:02 second quarter. Ike will come out with 12 points in the ball game. Coming back in will be Van Hoot. Second free throw is off the mark, so it will remain a 1-point lead for the Orioles, 23-22. It's Ike in the lane, puts up his shot, Enan, and he is fouled. Porter Enan is fouled, and he'll head to the free throw line. The foul called on Nick Sorensen, picking up his second personal, and the 16th foul. So this game had some urban flow to it, has certainly slowed down with a lot of fouls called in the last 2 minutes. Free throw is up and gets it to fall. Porter Enan now with 4 points in the ball game. He put up 41 on Saturday night against Pine Ridge. And now a rare sight coming in. Carter Hansen making an appearance early. Usually he comes in late with garbage time. 24-22. Second free throw is up, and this one is off the mark for Enan. So just a 2-point lead, 2:50. Remains in this first half. It's with Ward back out to Jake Jensen. Jensen at the block, trying to get past his defender. Fadeaway jumper is off the mark. Loose basketball picked up by Jackson Alt for Lennox. They're pushing tempo quickly up to Braden Wolf. Wolf back out to Jackson, and Jackson throws in the elbow of Charlie Ward. Ward was falling over to the ground, but Jackson all able to grab the foul on Charlie Ward. That is now the 17th foul, so 1-1 upcoming. Charlie Ward was 6 points in the ball game, by the way. Begin with now his second personal. 24-22, 2:30 here in the second quarter. The 1-1 is good. Braden Wolf was knocked to the ground, but Danders help him up. Jackson Holt's second free throw upcoming, where he has all 3 of his of the night from the charity stripe. 25-22, 2:30 second quarter. Second free throw. This one is off the mark. So still a 1-possession game for the Lennox Orioles. Charlie Ward up into the front court, trying to find some space. He's triple teamed. Back out to TJ Tracy. To the top, Jake Jensen. This 3-pointer off the mark. Oof. TJ Tracy lost it behind him, but Porter Enan's face was there to knock it out of bounds. That went right into the nose. So Vermillion catches the lucky break. We'll get it back along the baseline. In fact, they're going to wipe off this nose sweat now of Enan. 25-22. Inbound to Jake Jensen. Jake Jensen backing in Christian. Now back out to TJ Tracy. He shoots the 3. Vermillion, who does not live and die by the 3, right now is doing so, and they're dying. 2 minutes, second quarter, trying to extend this lead. Enan drives in, leaves his shot short, but an offensive rebound as he tips it right back up and in. Porter Enan now 6 points. It's a 5-point lead for the Lennox Orioles, 27-22. Matches their biggest lead of the basketball game. It's Hansen for Vermillion. Now to Jake Jensen. Ball's tipped. Charlie Ward collects. Back over to Hansen. Hansen, the baseline, picks up his dribble to Jake Jensen. Jensen drives down the low block. Contact. Can't hit the jumper, but he'll head to the free throw line. It's now the 10th team foul on the Orioles. The foul comes against Jackson Alt, which will be his second personal. Again, Jake Jensen upcoming 2 free throws. Carter Mart will check back in here in just a moment. First free throw is up and gets it to fall. Jensen with 4 points, all coming in this second quarter. Charlie Ward will come out of the basketball game as Carter Mart back in. Also Porter Enan takes a spot on the bench as Van Houten is back in for Lennox. 27-23. Second free throw. This one is off the mark. Means a 2-possession lead for the Orioles as Wolf and Lennox look to add more to it. Christian, free throw line extended, near side. Now make the pass to the top of the key with Jackson Alt. Guard closely by Robinson. Back to Wolf. 1:11 remaining first half. Jackson Alt has it, drives baseline, double team, back out, wide open, Wolf, three-pointer, knocks it down. Braden Wolf, his first points of the ball game. It's 30-23, a 7-point lead for Lennox, their biggest lead of the ball game. Carter Mart into the front court. Tangers needing a bucket. Free throw line. It's Jake Jensen. Continues to back in his defender, but it's going to be knocked away from the front side. Van Houten gets it to Christian. It will be 8 seconds that separate the shot clock from game clock. Along the far sideline, it's Braden Wolf. Dribbles it to the O logo. Bounce pass to Jackson Alt. Alt back over to Wolf. To Christian. Far sideline. Christian using the left-hand dribble to the top of the key. Back to Jackson Alt. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Lennox looking for a good play here. Jackson back to Wolf. Wolf over to Christian. Wide open three once again. Knocks it down. It's been wide open threes with the man defense Vermillion's playing. And the last second heave from Jake Jensen will go right before the buzzer. Vermillion needed that. But nonetheless, living and dying by the three-pointer, it has been the Lennox Orioles, and they are getting it done from beyond the arc. Right now, at halftime, it's 33-26, a 7-point lead for the Lennox Orioles, who are 7-1 so far this season. Vermillion 5-1 is trailing by 7, trying to make a comeback and just stop the three-pointers of the Lennox Orioles. We'll step aside for 2 minutes, and when we come back, we'll see if we can't catch up with head coach John Brooks of the Vermillion Girls and talk about a victory earlier. That's on the way next here on Vermillion Streaming.
Hey, I think I'll take the day off.
Is your old furnace talking back to you?
You're flying solo today, pal. I need a little me time.
The Kalen's Indoor Comfort Pros can repair your grumpy old furnace or replace it with a new high-efficiency Lennox system.
Yeah, sorry. I just can't seem to move any air today.
We'll see about that. Get a dependable Lennox system from Kalen's and start saving today.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest. So you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Hard isn't for the weak-hearted. You're the first one to punch in and the last one to clock out. Every project, every day. Your hobbies are no different. Miles of scouting, hours of planning, one split second with everything on the line. Can you trust your equipment? Work or play, Runnings has the gear you need to be the first one out there and the last one to leave. The farm, the field, or even at home, Runnings has what you need.
Fuller Digital Solutions started small, but now we're growing as FDS provides live streaming coverage for over 20 schools across 3 different states on our Fuller Digital Solutions YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notified when we go live for your school events. Big events are captured live, and your business can get noticed with advertising during our live streams. Local talent and camera operators are encouraged to contact us too for future employment. No experience necessary. We will train. For information about advertising or working with Fuller Digital Solutions, email us and follow us on Facebook.
It's the Vermillion Booster halftime show here on Vermillion Streaming. As at halftime, it's the Lennox Orioles that lead it over the Vermillion Tangers 33-26. In fact, listen to this. 27 of the 33 points from Lennox so far in the first half have come from beyond the three-point line. In fact, the other 6 points have come from the free throw line. They have yet to hit an inside perimeter shot tonight. That's pretty crazy. But again, the Vermillion Tangers are trying to hang tough, and if they can shut down that 3 in the second half, they might just have an opportunity to get a huge victory inside the DAC 12 and Region 4. I don't know what it has been, in the Kool-Aid, but for some reason it's tasting pretty good in the first quarter and even into the second quarter here in the last 6 days. But man, oh man, Coach John Brooks, I don't know what it has been with your girls in the third quarter. Maybe we shouldn't have halftime anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of the tale of two halves right now. You know, we've been getting off to great starts. You know, the last 3 games we've gotten up big on all of them, and you know, I think us coach as a coaching staff are talking about that. I think it's a lot of it is just, you know, the maturity of our team right now, and it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just we're so young that we don't know how to play with leads yet, and that's what they're going to learn as they keep playing. You know, it's a 4-quarter game, no matter how you look at it, and you can be up double figures, and in basketball that can go away real quick, and that's something that we're really trying to work through right now. But could not be more proud of the way our girls came out right away in the first quarter, and really just that was the difference in the game.
Joined with head coach John Brooks here on the Vermillion Booster halftime show, as in game number 1 of our doubleheader this evening, the Vermillion girls get the win over Lennox 53-34. You talk about being proud of your girls, and especially in this stretch, and as you mentioned that first quarter, how much do you think that played a factor in taking them completely out of the gym in that first quarter to get this win tonight?
Yeah, I think anytime you can come on the road and just kind of suck the energy out of the place, that's really nice to have happen. And I think that's exactly what we did tonight. That's the best. We've been talking all year that we within our group that we really do feel like we have very good shooters on our team. It just hasn't quite all come together yet. And we knocked down shots in the first half, but a lot of it is because that's the best offense we run all year. We were more patient. We got ball reversals. We got the ball in the paint. We were good passers tonight, and kids were ready to step in and knock down shots. And you know, if that's something that we can continue, our defense has really been very solid through the first half of the season here. If we can get our offense to come around, then we think we have a really chance to be a dangerous basketball team.
Well, we talked about it in our pregame conversation. I said, you know, whether 7-3 or 8-2, you have to be extremely proud. You mentioned you didn't know where this team was going to be at the halfway mark of this season. Now looking back, you do have a little bit of time to reflect with now no school tomorrow, the weekend. You even get Monday off with the holiday. How much does that make you feel good about heading into the extended break, and what does that break look like for the next 4 days for the girls?
Yeah, obviously we feel good about where we're at right now, and you know, just won 4 games in 6 days, and we've been putting a lot of minutes in here this last week, so our girls deserve a break. You know, obviously with school being off, we'll be off of practice tomorrow, and I think that's well deserved for them. I think they need a little break here and just to kind of freshen the legs up, and then we'll see about this weekend if we can get in the gym. Hopefully we can get in, and even if it's just for an hour just to get some shots up and move around a little bit, that would be nice. And then you know, Monday to no school again, so we'll get in and get our normal practice Monday morning, and then we got another DAC-12 region rival game on Tuesday without point.
Yeah, it'll be nice to be back at home as well. Let's go get the Huskies for Tuesday, all right?
All right, thanks, Heath.
There he is, head coach John Brooks here on the Vermillion Booster halftime show. As once again, the Vermillion girls get a victory earlier this evening by the final score of 53-34, taking down the Lennox Orioles. The Vermillion girls now advance to 8-2 so far this season and 2-1 inside Region 4. And with that victory, they'll still remain in second place when it comes to the region standings and with the seed points. We're going to step aside for 60 seconds. When we come back, we'll take a look quickly at the first half scoring and also check scores from around the state of South Dakota. That's on the way next here on Vermillion Streaming.
It's your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality healthcare, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
back here on the Vermillion Booster halftime show. At halftime, it's Lennox that leads it 33-26. So again, if you're just tuning in, Lennox has scored 27 of their 33 points from beyond the three-point line in that first half. So that's more points than Vermillion scored in the first half. But nonetheless, as we take a look at the scoring, the leading scorer right now for the Lennox Orioles is Ike. He's got 12 points. Otherwise, 3 points for Jackson Alt, Braden Wolf, Stephen Christian, Carter Van Houten. There's 6 points for Porter Enan, or 3 points as well for Derricks for the Lennox Orioles. So also balanced 3-point shooting from across all of the Lennox Orioles. For the Vermillion Tanagers, they are led in a way with TJ Tracy. He has 8 points. Jake Jensen hit a 3-pointer right before the buzzer, giving him 7. Charlie Ward has 6 points, 4 points for Nick Sorensen, and also Zone Robinson has hit a free throw. And that is a rounded out scoring for the Vermillion Tanagers. We'll get you some score updates yet throughout the night, including USD men's and women's basketball, and also inside the DAC-12 and region play. There's a lot of girls and boys games that are going on, including some makeup games, or I shouldn't say makeup games, move games, to tonight to just be allowed to play those games and avoid the snowstorm that's moving through tomorrow as well. Expecting about 2 inches in the Yankton and Vermillion area possible of snow. And by the way, if you have not heard, Vermillion does not have school tomorrow, as they're going to make it that extended break with just potential snow situations and also enjoying Martin Luther King Day on Monday. We are set and ready to go. The Lennox Orioles come back out, and their starting 5 moving from left to right. The Vermillion Tanagers also back out with their 5 seniors. It's a turnover, double dribble from Braden Wolf. Lineups include Jackson Alt, Braden Wolf, Stephen Christian, Carter Van Houten, and Porter Enan. For the Lennox Orioles, Charlie Ward, Jake Jensen, Carter Mart, TJ Tracy, and Nick Sorensen back out there for the Tanagers. And now a push by Jackson Alt as Charlie Ward was trying to get himself out of trouble. Jackson has now picked up his 3rd personal in the first team foul. That's not good to give. Just 18 seconds into the second half. And now Jackson's going to immediately have to come out, and Derricks will be into the ball game. Derricks has already hit a 3-pointer back in the first quarter. 33-26. At one point, it was 33-23 before Jake Jensen hit that buzzer-beating 3-pointer. A pass to Sorensen is going to be deflected away by Braden Wolf, and a quick turnover for the Vermillion Tanagers. Lennox would love to put Vermillion away to begin this third quarter. Wolf at the elbow. They work it back out. Now back to Wolf. Wolf picks up his dribble. They work it to Van Houten. Over to the near corner with Christian. Along the baseline. Back to the top with Wolf. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now controlled with Derricks. Down to the block. It's Enan. Leaves his shot short, but gets it back his own rebound. Tries to go back up with it, but a foul called before the shot. It will be on Carter Mart, picking up his 2nd personal and the first team foul. 33-26. A minute eclipsed in the second half. Both teams have drawn a quick foul. Derricks will get it deep to Christian with also a fresh shot clock. Christian now to Enan. Enan goes up strong and able to finish it off at the glass. It's hard to stop the 6'5" frame of Porter Enan, and with that, he now has 8 points in the ball game. Charlie Ward up to TJ Tracy. Tracy, a bounce pass to Jake Jensen. Jake Jensen inside the lane, has it stripped out of his hands for the 2nd time in this quarter. Here comes Lennox quickly the opposite way to Enan. Enan backing his way in against Carter Mart, and Mart draws the foul. Carter Mart has now committed his 2nd foul of this quarter, 3rd for the ball game, and he's going to have to come out once again. Zone Robinson will check here in just a moment. It is a shooting foul, so Porter Enan will head to the free throw line to shoot 2. Again, 8 for him in the ball game. 35-26. First free throw is up and through for Porter Enan, giving him 9 in the ball game. As mentioned, Zone Robinson will now come in. Carter Mart is on the bench. Papa James Drake will go talk to Carter Mart on the bench. 2nd free throw is in. It's now the biggest lead that the Lennox Orioles have had 37-26, 6:23 third quarter, and now almost another turnover by Charlie Ward as he's double teamed, and head coach Jay Drake is going to call a timeout, and that gets the Lennox Orioles bench excited. They know they've gotten Vermillion already into a tough spot. All right, scores from around the state of South Dakota. Let's start in Class A for girls action when it comes to the DAC 12. And games earlier, Beersford got the win over Tri-Valley 58-57, and with 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter, West Central and Crofton are tied at 59. You expected that one to end just the way it's going. Right now, West Central just hit a bucket, making it 61-59. Also, another Action T area leads over Sioux Falls Christian as they start the second quarter 18-10. For boys action inside the DAC 12, Landrew leads it over Madison 38-28 at halftime, and that is and one other, Beersford and Tri-Valley are tied at 17 with 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And that is a look at scores from the DAC 12 for both boys and girls action, and we are back and ready to go once again. Vermillion with the basketball after the Jay Drake timeout. It's TJ Tracy, top of the key, trying to set the offense, and Jake Jensen, his three-pointer slightly deflected, trying to get the offensive rebound. Zone Robinson can't pull it down. Quickly the opposite way, off the glass, and good is Derricks for two. It's now a 13-point lead for the Lennox Orioles as they have really starting to expand this one open. Bounce pass to TJ Tracy. Up with his shot way too high off the glass. Ball is loose and finally picked up by Porter Enan. Quickly up to Derricks, and he's going to lose it out of bounds right in front of the Lennox student section. Vermillion needs a bucket. They have been outscored so far in this third quarter 6-0. Again, trail by 13, 5:35 third quarter. Charlie Ward using his right-handed dribble. Bounce pass to Nick Sorensen. Sorensen over to Robinson. Robinson off the glass as he was wide open and collects it for two. 3 points for him in the ball game as the Tanagers trying to get back into this one. Just need to stop the bleeding and find some shots in a row right now. Christian, three-pointer. This one is off the mark. Nick Sorensen tries to get the rebound, and a foul called against Porter Enan against the sophomore. Enan now will pick up his third personal. As great as he is, he has gotten himself into foul trouble. And now he's going to have to come out. But Connor Ike will check back in, where he's got 12 for the ball game. Also, User back in. Braden Wolf also out of the basketball game for the Lennox Orioles. 39-28, 5:06 third quarter. Charlie Ward shouting out instructions. He's double teamed. Now we'll get it up to Robinson. Robinson drives in the lane underneath to TJ Tracy, but a foul called before the pass was made against the Orioles. It's going to be the third team foul. The foul, by the way, is called on User, picking up his second personal foul. Inbound to Jake Jensen. Jensen to the baseline with Nick Sorensen. Sorensen to the low block, high off the glass, can't get a shot to fall. Foul for the rebound. TJ Tracy comes up with it. He's fouled. And he will head to the free throw line, trying to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. And now Charlie Ward will gather with his team. The official jumps in there quickly to break it up. Not quite for sure. Usually you can have a moment. But the official basically joined the huddle with the Tanagers. 39-30. Old-fashioned three-point play is completed from TJ Tracy. With that, he now has 11 points in the ball game, 39-31, as Vermillion cuts the lead back under double digits. In fact, Tanagers on a 5-0 run. Pass over to Derricks. Derricks to Christian, slips through his fingers and out of bounds. And now momentum starting to shift back towards the way of the Vermillion Tanagers. 39-31, 4:28 third quarter. Charlie Ward in the backcourt. Again, a couple big key pieces sitting on the bench. Wolf, Alt, and Enan, all starters for Lennox. Ward picks up his dribble. Gets it back to Jake Jensen. Back to now Charlie Ward on the Orioles script far side. Down the block, jumper off the mark for Charlie Ward. Foul for the rebound. Coming away is Lennox. 39-31, 4:04 third quarter. Quickly opposite way, it's Derricks. Bounce pass out. It's going to be stolen away, though, by T.J. Tracy. He gets it to Charlie Ward. Ward across the timeline. Still Ward in the lane. Drives all the way up. Puts up his shot. Can't get the fall, but he is fouled and will head to the free throw line. It's now the 4th team foul on Lennox. Head coach Buckmiller goes into a crouch. The foul, by the way, is called on Stephen Christian, picking up his 2nd personal. No one has picked up more than 2 than Porter Enan, who's currently on the bench. But right now, Vermillion can't hit free throws as Charlie Ward misses for the 2nd time this evening. 39-31, 3:53, third quarter. 2nd free throw is off the mark as well. Vermillion retains a 5-0 run that they're on, but when they're at the free throw line, they need to hit. They want to get back into it. Lennox has it with Christian over on the far sideline. The top, and now over to the near side. 3-pointer for Derricks. He leaves this one short, and Zone Robinson has the pumpkin fall into his hands. Quickly up to Jake Jensen. Here comes Vermillion. Free throw line, Jensen. Down to the left block. Jensen backing his way in. Tries to draw a foul. Can't get it. Gets back his own rebound. He goes up, finishes it, and he's going to be fouled this time. Jake Jensen battled tough. Tried to draw the foul, couldn't do so, but continued to follow up his shot, was able to finish it the 2nd time, and he's fouled. And Ike is going to have to come out of the ball game as he picks up his 2nd personal. The 6th team foul now on Lennox. And here comes Jake Jensen. Free throw is up, knocks it down. He's got 12 points for the ball game. Vermillion now on an 8-0 run. They're right back in it, 39-34. Christian, free throw line extended, and head coach Buckmiller said, enough is enough. We got to stop the bleeding here. The question is, can he do so with this timeout? All right, let's see how quickly my fingers can work now. Well, take a look at scores from the state of South Dakota for USD men and for USD women. My fingers ultimately aren't that quick. 57-53. USD men currently lead it with 11 minutes left in the ball game. I just completely deleted South Dakota. I don't know why I did that. That was kind of silly of me. And for the women's basketball, oh my goodness, that can't be correct. At the end of quarter number 1, it's USD 30, Denver 3. Well, I think we know who's going to win that game. 39-34, 3:11 third quarter. I trust ESPN. They gave me the correct score there. Wow. Christian, as we resume action back here in Lennox with a score is much, much closer. 39-34. 8-0 run. The Tanagers are on. It's Wolf over to the corner. Lays down the screen. Back to the top with Christian. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Losing it is Derricks, and it falls into the hands of T.J. Tracy. Vermillion trying to continue to add to this run that they're on. It's an 8-0 currently. Charlie Ward almost has it knocked away. Ward, pull-up jumper for him, leaves it short. Nick Sorensen fumbles it around. It goes out to zone Robinson. The wide receiver drives in, puts up his shot, can't get the go, but it's a foul. It's now the 7th team foul. That means bonus for Vermillion the rest of the way. And we're at the 2:32 mark of the third quarter. The foul, by the way, will come against Carter Van Houten, picking up his 4th. Free throw for Robinson is off the mark. That's the one lucky thing for the Lennox Orioles currently is free throws cannot be hit by the Vermillion Tanagers as they continue their struggle. They've already missed 6 here in the ball game. With you even talk about hitting 4 or 5 of those. We're tied up. Second free throw is good for Zone Robinson, who's got 4 points in the ball game. 39-34, 2:25, third quarter. Vermillion is on a 9-0 run, and you can hear it in the background. The student section and fans are alive and well here in Lennox for Vermillion. It's Jackson Alt who almost travels. Pass, tipped away by Jake Jensen. Up to Zone Robinson. He drives in. He's fouled. And 2 free throws upcoming. Every time Vermillion drives in, a foul is called. And right now, if you're a Lennox fan, you just can't believe it anymore. The foul called on Muser, picking up his third personal, all coming in this third quarter. It's the 8th team foul. Again, Enan, Christian, along with Ike, are all riding the bench. And the first free throw this time is collected by Zone Robinson. This run continues. It's now an 11-0 run. 39-36. Second free throw, though, is off the mark for Robinson. Quickly up to Jackson Alt. Alt in the lane. Uses his left hand, can't finish. Offensive board and a foul call. It's going both ways. And finishing there at the lane is Muser. And again, he is fouled and will head to the free throw line. That also ended the 11-0 run Vermillion found themselves on. The foul was called, by the way, on Zone Robinson. His first, just the third team foul. Carter Mart will come out of the basketball game, as it was TJ Tracy coming back in. Try to complete the three-point play. This one is off the mark. Battle for the rebound. Charlie Ward collects in a squatting formation. Ward across the timeline, using the right-handed dribble. Right in front of the Orioles script. That far side as we see it. Fadeaway jumper for Ward is off the front of the iron. Battle for the rebound, being knocked around in the lane. Collected by Wolf for the Lennox Orioles. Charlie Ward certainly has been off tonight. He just has 6 points in the ball game. Jackson over to Van Houten on the near sideline. To the top to Wolf. Back to Alt. Alt, catch and shoot three. Bingo! Jackson Alt hits a huge three. It's now a 5-0 run for Lennox, and it's back to an 8-point lead, 44-36. Zone Robinson to Charlie Ward. How much do fouls play a factor for Lennox? As Vermillion has kind of stopped attacking the bucket here in the last 90 seconds. Three-pointer for Jake Jensen. He leaves it short, and it's rebounded by Lennox. Jackson Alt, the opposite way. Still Alt driving in, using his right hand, finishes at the rack. And quickly answering a run, Lennox now finds themselves on a 7-0 run, 46-36, back up to a double-digit lead. It's Robinson, baseline, picks up his dribble, makes the pass to TJ Tracy, knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Vermillion. 35 seconds remaining in this third quarter, and 21 seconds on the shot clock. Robinson will inbound for the Tanagers. Official hands Robinson the basketball. Gets it deep to Jake Jensen. Over to TJ Tracy. Tracy down to the low block. Goes up with his shot and finishes it off. TJ Tracy has had himself a great ball game. 13 points for him this evening. 46-38. That also ended a 7-0 run that the Orioles were on. 14 seconds and rolling. Lennox holding for the last second shot. It's Braden Wolf. Over to Derricks. Derricks at the volleyball line. Now over to Alt, three-pointer. This one's off the mark. Sorensen to Charlie Ward. He'll put up the three-quarters heave. It won't get anywhere close. And that is the end of the third quarter. In fact, Lennox has extended their lead. They led it by 7 after halftime. Or as soon as they started the third quarter, they lead it currently by 8, 46-38. Can Vermillion make a fourth quarter comeback? It comes up in 60 seconds here on Vermillion Streaming.
Olson, owner of Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. I grew up here, graduated here, and now have a business here. I'm proud to serve the community that has helped me live this dream. I have top-notch equipment, the latest in training, along with a work ethic and the desire to serve you. Should you need repairs in the future, please remember Blaine's Body Shop across from Polaris on the Highway 50 bypass in Vermillion.
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Now online at blainesbodyshop.com.
At Knutson Family Dentistry in Vermillion, they strive to provide the highest quality patient-centered dental care in a friendly, relaxing atmosphere. Knutson Family Dentistry works hard to provide the best cosmetic, general, and emergency dental treatment in the area. With over 50 years of combined dental experience, the latest dental technology, and a professional and compassionate staff, they're your top choice for dental care. Call for an appointment at 605-857-8008. Knutson Family Dentistry of Vermillion.
46-38. great to have you along on Vermillion Streaming as we are set for the fourth quarter. Vermillion will open up with the basketball, and driving in right away is Charlie Ward. He misses his shot but gets back his own rebound. His second opportunity is missed. TJ Tracy is fighting for it, and it goes out of bounds as he had the basketball along the baseline. But again, Charlie Ward certainly has not looked like himself this evening, as he has not been able to hit much of anything. He's had 3 free throws and also a three-pointer in the second quarter. Here we go. Lennox trying to get a big victory, trying to move to 8-1 on their season. This is a DAC-12 Region 4 matchup. Porter Enan, who spent a majority of the third quarter on the bench, is fouled as he drives in. Foul comes against Nick Sorensen, picking up now his third and the fourth team foul. Now, Lennox has already committed 8 fouls in that third quarter, so it's a bonus the rest of the way. Quickly inbound it to Porter Enan. He's triple-teamed, and it's going to be a tie-up as Jake Jensen is there immediately to reach in and tie it up with Porter Enan. Possession arrow, though, does favor the Lennox Orioles. 46-38, 7:29, fourth quarter. Quick inbounds this time to Ike. Tap it back out to Jackson Alt. Lennox will set the offense. Alt picks up his dribble, looking for someone to pass it to. Now gets it to his teammate, Derricks. Derricks back to Jackson Alt. Three-pointer. This one swishes through. Jackson Alt continues his tear. He's now got 11 points in the ball game. 49-38. Vermillion needs to go on another 11-0 run, and that would just tie up the ball game right now. It's TJ Tracy. Tracy down the low block. Reverse layup. Doesn't get it, but an offensive rebound, and this time is able to get it to go. TJ Tracy has now scored in all quarters tonight, giving him 15 points for the ball game. 49-40, 6:43, fourth quarter. If you're a Lennox fan, you're just saying, let this clock roll. Jackson Alt gets it back out to Derricks. Vermillion would love to stop it if they could. Jackson, back to Derricks. They're just playing back and forth right now. Over to the corner. Muser shoots the three. This one is off the mark, but it's going to be a deep rebound for the Orioles. To Porter Enan. Enan backing his way in against Nick Sorensen. Nick Sorensen. Now they get it out. Muser shoots a three-pointer. This one's off the mark. Battle for the rebound, and they say out of bounds with Carter Mark, who last had possession of the ball as him and Jackson Alt went to the baseline trying to fight for it. 49-40, 6:11, fourth quarter. So a fresh shot clock as well for Lennox as they're just retaining possession of the ball, and currently it's enough. Enan, jumper at the free throw, knocks it through. They gave him an inch of space. He collects with it, and Porter Enan with that 13 points for him in the ball game. Zone Robinson gets it to TJ Tracy. Still an 11-point lead for the Lennox Orioles, 51-40. Nick Sorensen holds it above his head over to Zone Robinson. Robinson at the free throw line. Picks up his dribble, looking for someone to pass it to. Now to TJ Tracy. Down to Jake Jensen, who loses it. He's trying to save it deep. It takes a deflection, and it will go out of bounds. Last touch by Lennox. With 4 seconds remaining on the shot clock, Vermillion needs to put up something quickly. Again, 4 seconds on the shot clock. I think Vermillion and also Coach John Rivers is just now noticing it. It does say 37, which throws it off quite a bit. But saying 3.7 ultimately is what that means. Quickly into Sorensen, to Ward as he just tried to force a pass. Ward needs to put up the heave. He never got it off in time. Shot clock violation. It will be a turnover. Charlie was trying to explain that Lennox had possession there of the ball for a moment. They never did. So again, shot clock violation. 51-40, trying to add to an 11-point lead. The Lennox Orioles. They were able to hit 27 of their 33 points in the first half from beyond the arc. They have certainly kind of just muddled their way through the third quarter. But points even let Vermillion go on an 11-0 run, but able to keep the lead all the way throughout. And now Porter Enan drives with the right hand, and he's able to finish it off. Nick Sorensen just hasn't been able to shut him down for tonight. 15 points for Porter Enan. Jake Jensen all the way underneath to T.J. Tracy, who is wide open. T.J. Tracy, the leading scorer by far, now with 17 in the ball game. 53-42. Vermillion needs to step it up now if they want to make a comeback and get the victory here in Lennox. Porter Enan underneath to Ike. Ike with his shot off the glass and good for two. Lennox has also not committed a foul here in this fourth quarter. It's Charlie Ward to Jake Jensen. Jensen trying to drive and a foul called. And free throws upcoming. A 1-1 for Jake Jensen. The foul called on Jackson Alt, which is now his fourth personal. Again, the 19th foul. He will come out of the basketball game. Still a 13-point lead, though. 55-42. Jake Jensen certainly needs to hit both free throws. A run could start here. Quick substitutions of guys at the line. Nick Sorensen will back his way out. Charlie Ward will make his way to the line. Here we go. The first of 1-1. Jensen up and knocks it down. So he'll get the second one. Jake Jensen with 13 points in the ball game after he rolled his ankle in the first quarter. Second free throw is up, and that one is good as well. 55-44, 4:30, fourth quarter. Orioles have it in the backcourt with the press on by the Tangers. It's Derek right over to Musler. Bounce pass trying to get to Porter Enan. Stolen away by T.J. Tracy. Here comes Vermillion trying to draw it back underneath double digits to Jake Jensen. His shot up. He's fouled. And it's now double bonus the rest of the way for the Vermillion Tanagers. The foul called on Carter Van Houten, and he should... That's his first, they say? Earlier they said it was his fourth. I have my numbers off somewhere. They call it the first one on Carter Van Houten then. I don't know where I got off my numbers. Free throw is off the mark for Jake Jensen. Second free throw upcoming. Again, if Vermillion wants to make a comeback, they need to hit free throws. That's really all that matters right now. 14 points for Jake Jensen. Second free throw is up, and he hits this one. 55-45, 4:10, fourth quarter. The press on. Porter Enan tries to make a pass. It's tipped, but Lennox retains possession. Muser to Ike, three-pointer. This one's off the heel of the iron. Rebound by T.J. Tracy. Vermillion needs some quick buckets. Quickly the opposite way, Charlie Ward. And I mean they need buckets more than anything. Jake Jensen at the elbow, trying to get some room against Nick Sorensen, and able to get past Nick Sorensen. A couple Lennox Orioles in there, and Jensen starting to take over this game by himself. Now 17 for him in the ball game. T.J. Tracy also with 17 points. It is a full timeout, so we're going to step aside and take a 60-second break. We're back here in a minute on Vermillion Streaming.
Vermillion is ready with all your Tanager gear. Check out their Tanager Pride and Tanager logo t-shirts. Thread and Ink has USD Coyote gear too. They custom print apparel, do built-to-order laser engraving, embroidery, promotional items, signage, and much more. Thread and Ink Vermillion is locally owned, and customers give them 5 stars on their Facebook page, so you know you can trust Thread and Ink to fill your order with the perfection you deserve. Good luck from Thread and Ink Vermillion.
Masaba of Vermillion, South Dakota is now hiring for full and part-time positions with day and evening shifts available. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a state-of-the-art facility with a clean and safe work environment. We offer competitive starting wages and an interesting and fun work culture. If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we would love to have you on our team. For more information, visit masabainc.com/careers.
Here in the fourth quarter on Vermillion Streaming, it's an 8-point lead for the Lennox Orioles, 55-47. Vermillion Tanagers currently find themselves on a 5-0 run, trying to get back into it after a timeout from head coach Buck Miller. It's Derricks who has it along the baseline. Moving quickly around the perimeter, Lennox. Now Porter Enan drives the lane. He's tripped up and shot. No, travel is called instead. Eden was driving. He got slightly tripped up from an inadvertent leg of Jake Jensen. They say he traveled instead of a foul being called. The official on the far sideline is giving his explanation to Coach Buckmiller, who just can't believe it. He's beside himself. Charlie Ward trying to keep this run going to Jake Jensen. Driving in the lane. Shot is up and good. And heading to the free throw line, trying to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, will be Jake Jensen. The foul called on Ike, which is his third personal. It's technically the 11th team foul if anyone's keeping track at home. Jake Jensen, 7 points now in this fourth quarter. 17 for the ball game, make it 18 for the ball game. 55-50, 3:18 fourth quarter. Vermillion fans are believing once again. A high pass pulled down by Ike. Over to Jackson Alt. Alt gets it back out to Braden Wolf. 3:05 fourth quarter and moving. Van Houten dribble in between the legs. Now to Ike. Ike over to Wolf, top of the key, three-pointer. This one's off the mark. Bow for the rebound. Charlie Ward is able to climb the tallest ladder and get it. Quickly up to TJ Tracy, throws his shot off the glass. It's a three-point game. Go back to 2 years ago when these two teams met this exact same situation, except it was postseason. Vermillion came away with the win. 55-52, 2:30 fourth quarter. Jackson Alt, top of the key, kicks it over to Porter Enid. You like it? His hands. Down to Wolf. Now wide open to Jackson Alt. He can't finish though. Wide open. He can't finish his shot, but it's an offensive rebound. Back out Ike, three-pointer. This one left short. Oh my goodness. Lennox has gone cold at the worst time possible. 2:07 fourth quarter. Charlie Ward with the ball. As now, Tanager fans, students and adults alike are on their feet. To Nick Sorensen, over to Robinson, catch and shoot three, bingo! Zone Robinson ties up the ball game, 55-55, 1:54 remaining in the ball game. My goodness, Vermillion needed to go on a run, and they have done so. And now Coach Buckmiller tries to stop the bleeding. When maybe some of the biggest names for Vermillion haven't been able to hit their shots tonight, including two captains of Nick Sorensen and Charlie Ward, Vermillion has found other ways, including Zone Robinson and TJ Tracy coming up big tonight. 55-55. 97 seconds remain in this fourth quarter. Can you go back to 2 years ago when these two teams met twice here in Lennox? During the regular season, Lennox got the victory. But when it came to the postseason, to make it to the Sodak 16, it was an upset by the 4 seed then, Vermillion, over the Lennox Orioles, and it came down to the last few seconds. They put this game on a Friday just so they can build this type of excitement. But with the pending weather, they moved it to tonight. And it certainly has still lived up to the hype and to the drama that we expected it to. 55-55, 137 fourth quarter. Now, also another quick side note. Vermillion still has fouls to give. They've only committed 4 here in this second half compared to double bonus for the Vermillion Tanagers. Control the basketball with the Lennox Orioles. It's Wolf to Enan to Jackson All underneath the Wolf. He was open for a sec. Can't finish off his shot, but he's fouled by TJ Tracy. Tracy's like, I went straight up with my hands. 2 free throws upcoming for Braden Wolf, who has just a three-pointer back in the second quarter. Again, Vermillion has fouls to give, but you don't want to give it on a shot. TJ Tracy, by the way, picking up his second personal. Wolf, first one, knocks it through, and Lennox takes back the lead. 56-55, 87 seconds remaining fourth quarter. Second free throw is up, and this one's knocked through. Ice in the veins of Wolf. 57-55. Charlie Ward will casually bring it up the front court. Jackson Alt be the one playing defense. Still Charlie Ward. He's going to drive down to the low block, put up a shot. He misses. Ball's being tipped around. Still loose. It's going to be Porter Enan who comes away with it. It's TJ Tracy from behind who is going to draw a foul. He was trying to knock it away cleanly, and Tracy commits the foul. The hustle effort doesn't pan out in his favor. It is now the 16th foul, so next one is bonus for the Orioles. 57-55, 104, fourth quarter. Jackson Alt over to Ike, to Porter Enan. Back to Jackson Alt, to the top with Wolf. Wolf to Porter Enan. To Ike, who's got 12 points in the ball game. Down in the lane, triple team. Enan back out to Ike, three-pointer straight away. Swish! Ike hits a big three-pointer. 60-55. Tanagers quickly the opposite way with Jensen trying to make a pass to Sorensen. He wanted a foul and a reach in against TJ Tracy. 1-1 upcoming. And just as Vermillion made the comeback, Lennox goes on a 5-0 run of their own. And they now lead it 60-55 with a 1-1 upcoming for Ike in the Lennox Orioles. Foul called on TJ Tracy, his fourth personal. The 1-1 knocked through. Ike will get a second opportunity trying to extend it to a three-possession game, 61-55. Second free throw is up and gets them both. Ike, 19 points in the ball game for him. Vermillion needs quick shots. Charlie Ward has it at the elbow. Pull-up jumper for him. This one is off the mark. Trying to fight for the rebound, and a foul called against who? They say against Zone Robinson. Or was it, against Lennox? It was Lennox who commits the foul. It was against Porter Enan. I'm sorry, correction. It'll be Zone Robinson who'll be the one to shoot two. Zone Robinson, 8 points for him in the ball game, his season high. Now make it 9. Back to a two-possession game at its highest point, 62-56, with 25 seconds remaining in the ball game. Second free throw is upcoming for Zone Robinson. Spins in his hands, eyes down the bucket, and gets it to go. Quick inbounds to Jackson Alt, to Porter Enan. And he's going to be fouled by Zone Robinson. Robinson will pick up his second personal, and still a 1-1 for Porter Enan. Upcoming for Lennox, 62-57. 21 seconds remaining in the ball game. Enan, who put up 41 points on Saturday afternoon against Pine Ridge. Not quite those numbers tonight. The 1-1, he misses it. Sorensen with the rebound. Quickly up to Charlie Ward. Underneath to Zone Robinson. The pass, though, was too tall. Back out. It's stolen away by Van Houten. And Jackson Alt has it. Now to Ike, to Porter Enan. And the final 4 seconds will be dribbled out. The Vermillion Tanagers come into tonight's game. They play tough. They make a comeback. But in the end, can't finish it off as the Lennox Orioles move to 8-1 on the season. For the Vermillion Tanagers, they drop another one. They move to 5-2 and 1-2 inside Region 4. Your final score in boys action, 62-57. Lennox with the victory. The First Dakota National Bank postgame show comes up in 2 minutes here on Vermillion Streaming. We'll take a look back at the final game statistics and also catch up with head coach Jay Drake. That's on the way next.
Most new systems today, it's important to remember to maintain the warranty. You need to show proof of service. Things that you can expect from Larry's Heating and Cooling Comfort Care Club are prompt, timely service, 2 maintenances, and respect. If you ever have an issue, from Lennox to Carrier and everything in between, we're there for you. For any inquiries about our pricing, feel free to call us at 1-800-491-9999. 9461. Anytime, any day.
We're a little bit different here at Vermillion Federal Credit Union. See, unlike banks, we're a member-owned not-for-profit institution, meaning members like you are the owners, and the profits are returned through better fees and lower rates.
Hey you, down in front!
And since our members are our owners, we exist to serve you and make sure that you're as comfortable as possible here. So come on in and act like you own the place, because you do.
Open your free checking account today. Vermillion Federal Credit Union.
Most new systems today, it's important to remember to maintain the warranty. You need to show proof of service. Things that you can expect from.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new home, or your family is growing and you need to sell your existing home, or you're a student moving to an apartment, Dakota Realty and Property Management has home listings for families as well as apartments. Being locally owned and with over 150 years of combined experience, they have the connections to find the home that will fit you. Go to Dakota Realty and Property Management at 125 East Cherry Street, Vermillion, because they like what they do and they will work for you. Dakota Realty is a proud supporter of Vermillion Athletics.
Vermillion Medical Clinic is your trusted hometown healthcare provider. Family medicine, 10 visiting specialists, Vermillion's only pediatrician, and expanded convenient care hours. Because illness and injury don't keep office hours. Vermillion Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
Your final score here in Lennox in game number 2 of the night. 62-57. The Lennox Orioles get the victory over the Vermillion Tanagers as the Vermillion Tanagers now drop to 5-2 overall, 1-2 inside Region 4, and also 1-2 inside the DAC 12. In fact, all of their region games have also been their DAC 12 games. It was certainly a good game at points for the Vermillion Tanagers, but I go immediately back to what head coach Jay Drake said in our pregame conversation. He said this game is really going to come down to how we play in streaks and in moments of this game, because in a matter of 2 minutes it can swing your way and it can go against you. 55-55 with 2:08 remaining in the ball game, and Lennox went on a 7-0 run to basically ice this one over and get the victory tonight. And for Vermillion, they're usually guys that able to step up and have a big game, maybe not as quiet, or I should say not as relevant tonight, including seeing other guys step up like Zone Robinson, who finished with double figures on the night with 10 points. In fact, the Tanagers put 3 different players into double figures. But when you talk about the 2 of your 3 captains, including Charlie Ward and Nick Sorensen, combining for 10 points on the evening, held in check and just kind of held silent for tonight. As we take a look at the final game statistics and the final numbers, as we mentioned, TJ Tracy finishes with 19 points in the ball game. Jake Jensen finishes with 18 of his own. As I mentioned, Zone Robinson with 10 points on the night. Really a good game for him to continue to grow in this one. 6 points for Charlie Ward and just 4 points for Nick Sorensen. Lennox lived and died by the three-pointer tonight, and in the end, they were able to start attacking the bucket a little bit more into that second half, but continue to hit the threes when needed most, including Connor Ike was huge for the Lennox Orioles, including hitting 5 threes tonight out of his 19 points on the evening. He was the leading scorer for the Lennox Orioles, otherwise balanced scoring the rest of the way through. They had 2 others that reached double figures in quarter, including, Porter Enan, who finished with 15 points on the night, and Jackson Alt, who came alive in that second half, including 8 of his 11 coming in the third and fourth quarter. Otherwise, 5 points for Derricks off the bench, along with 5 points for Braden Wolf, a 3-pointer apiece for Stephen Christian and Carter Van Houten, and Muser finished with 2 points coming back in the third quarter. But very impressive performance from the Lennox Orioles, as they had 8 different guys in the scoring column tonight. As again, their final score here in Lennox, 62-57. And definitely going to be a tough conversation with head coach Jay Drake, but that will be coming up yet here on the First Dakota National Bank postgame show. Meet their banking dream team in Vermillion at First Dakota National Bank. Their banking team offers you the personal hometown banking service with a smile. Their goal is always to provide you with the exponential great customer service and to listen to your needs while providing banking solutions that truly fit you. That's First Dakota National Bank. We're going to step aside for 2 minutes, and when we come back, we have scores from across the state of South Dakota to crown our Latte Da player of the game, and also a conversation with head coach Jay Drake. That's all on the way in 2 minutes on Vermillion Streaming.
Save means you're sort of protecting yourself. My mom and dad told me how to be safe. It's like super duper important. Hold a grown-up's hands. Put a helmet on because you might hurt your head super duper bad.
Protect their future by protecting yours with your local State Farm agent, Dick Sunday.
Need a new set of tires? Look to Carlson's Body Shop in Beersford. How about some accessories like WeatherTech floor mats, Access roll-up truck covers, bed liners, remote car starters, and thousands of other products. Hey, you can look at everything at your convenience online too at carlsonsbodyshop.com. No wonder the song says,
Bring it down to Carlson's Body Shop, your complete car care center.
Machine in Beersford is your full-service quality John Deere dealer. From the latest John Deere combines and tractors to lawn equipment you can count on, Peterson Machine in Beersford will bring you the best value for your dollar, along with professional service and parts to keep you going. Check out the big selection of used equipment as well. Need a hard-working farm hand? Peterson Machine also carries a full line of Polaris ATVs and UTVs ready for the toughest jobs. No matter what the job, Polaris keeps you going. Check the full inventory at petersonmachine.com.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment is your locally owned and operated ready mix company. Their specialty, 6x6 front discharge mixer trucks that allows for better placement of concrete and ease of use. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment offers the highest quality of concrete products and aggregate, and also a full-service dealer for Logon equipment featuring telehandlers, excavators, and ASB track skid loaders for purchase or rent. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment, East Highway 50, Vermillion.
It's the First Dakota National Bank postgame show here on Vermillion Streaming, as your final and game number one of the evening went to the Vermillion girls as they continued a great winning streak as they got a win over Lennox tonight by the final score of 53-34. But in game number two, the Vermillion boys fall short as they fall to Lennox by the final score of 62-57 was your final score. And again, Vermillion boys, it just seemed at times it could not get their scoring going. And even from the free throw line, I really look back at that number. That's a huge one tonight as Vermillion, they went 19 of 29, but you can even go back to the third quarter where they got Lennox into bonus about halfway through that third quarter, just beyond the halfway point, but not able to necessarily take advantage. And even the three-point shooting from Lennox that was so good in the first half where they went 9 of 15 really cooled off. In fact, in the second half, they just went 3 of 11. So, I mean, they shot 46% from the three-point line. Vermillion shot 36%. But again, you talk about some of the biggest names when it comes to this Vermillion squad with those seniors just not having the biggest game, including Charlie Ward and Nick Sorensen. And you expect them to kind of take this and take it in stride and continue to build on if they want to make a run now here inside the region. They're certainly going to have to build from this moment on. And I've not seen head coach Jay Drake emerge from the locker room yet, and I can almost guess what this conversation is going to be about, but the ultimate implications moving on throughout the rest of the season. Yes, 5-2 right now, the Vermillion boys, but they have taken now 2 losses inside the region against maybe 2 teams. They look back and say they could have been wins, including against the T-Area Titans and tonight against Lennox, and things do not get any easier as they still have Dakota Valley that's yet coming up Later on in February, you even talk about Elk Point Jefferson. Right now, with just this stacked region, it's certainly going to be difficult for the Vermillion boys. Now here on the First Dakota National Bank postgame show, joined with head coach Jay Drake. Coach Drake, there's a lot to kind of dive through this one, and looking back here at the final game statistics, I think one of the biggest things that stands out to me is you're able to make a run in the third quarter, get it close once again. You get them in foul trouble. What happened in that fourth quarter that you weren't necessarily able to take advantage of that foul trouble that Lennox found themselves in?
Yeah, part of it, you know, we wanted to attack the basket and get the foul line. We did a good job of that and getting into the double bonus. But again, some of that, you've talked about depth and stuff, and, you know, I think our guys are tired too. The easy thing, it's really easy to settle for jump shots. That way, a stretch where we took a couple quick shots. And our guys are still learning. You know, we got the 5 senior starters and stuff, but it's you know, our 2 losses, one, you got to give the other teams credit, and they're good basketball teams. But we've got to defend better. And you know, obviously they went crazy in the first half on shooting the 3, but we knew that going in. And they're a good 3-point shooting team, and we got to keep guys in front of us better. You know, we tried to adjust a little bit in the second half. You know, our team defense, we feel we got pretty good team defense, and we help pretty well. But in our 2 games now, we've kind of probably over-helped, which have led to some catch-and-shoot opportunities. But again, with our group, we told them the effort to keep battling. You know, I think we got down 14-15 there in the early third quarter, and then we had a long stretch. We strung stops together, but we still got to do a better job of helping ourselves from, you know, I think we got it to 3 or 4, and then we gave up a key offensive board, and they got an end one. And, you know, it's kind of like the T game. They kind of kept us at bay, think we were making a run, and then finally, when we talk about our mental lapses with our kids, is hell of an effort getting it to 55-55.
Yeah.
Hey, they call a timeout, but we got a minute 37 to play or whatever it was, and they come out, and before you know it, it's a quick 7-0 run, 62-55, and it's a, you know, ball game. And those are the things we've got to do a better job of understanding. Hey, momentum, great, good things going good, but you got to go win the next possession now. And if you let up any at all, we talked a lot of our games last year when we say blueprint. You know, we put ourselves kind of in, you look at our 2 losses, we were in the position T and Lennox were in, where you're controlling games, having the lead the whole way. The other team has to fight, and it takes a lot of energy to try to fight and get back in the basketball game. But, you know, the other thing that's frustrating in the game is we told our guys, you know, we got to the foul line and generated extra opportunities, but we got to shoot free throws better too. You know, and I'm just looking at yours right now, 19 of 29. It's good to get 19 points at the line, but, you know, we had extra opportunities. And it's not so much, you look at it late in the game, but even at the times, you know, a 6-point game could be going to a 4-point game, a 3-point game down to 1, and we're losing opportunities there. So effort was there for our kids, but, again, it stings and it hurts because these are, we said this all year. I told you at the beginning of the year, I think we're good enough. If we're healthy, do the things, we'll improve as a basketball team. I think, and I told people, we can hang with pretty much anyone in Class A. The question is, can we beat the better teams in Class A? And, you know, in our 2 probably biggest games, our toughest opponents thus far, we're right there in the fourth quarter having chances, but we're not getting over the hump. And we're going to have to find ways to get over the hump against teams like this, because that's what we're going to see here the second half of the year.
I think you really hit it on the head as well. This makes it such a tough loss because of the effort. You talk about getting it back to 55. I mean, a loss is a loss if you lose by 20 points, but you talk about a very tough loss when you made it so close. And that is kind of the narrative now, Coach. What does it take to get us over that hump when it does come to the best teams in South Dakota? Because we still have Sioux Falls Christian, West Central, Dakota Valley, even Elk Point Jefferson next Tuesday, who's battling right there inside the region. Where do we get over that hump at?
Yeah, it starts one. It sounds cliche, but we tell our guys, you have to accept going into a game, it is not just the physical grind, but the mental grind. And when you say a mental grind, it's constantly being dialed in and locked in and understanding. And, you know, it's all times. You know, I think I told you in the pregame, you can lose games, not just the final minutes. It gets magnified late in the game in key plays, but you have stretches early in a game where another team might go on an 8-0 run or whatever the case is. That changes the complexion of the rest of the game and what's going to be happening. And in our 2 losses, I like the fight and heart and effort our guys are giving, but we still, and it's somewhat frustrating, but we got a long ways to go. We still, and this even with 5 seniors, our 5 seniors have got to understand there can't be wasted possessions on either end. Okay, you can't have lapses upstairs mentally on either end, because those things add up. And it's not always the same kid, but if you're constantly having, every few possessions, one guy here, next guy here, next guy here, those possessions add up in a hurry. And in games like this, 2 teams battling, it's a good high school basketball game, but those will get you in the end.
Certainly lived up to the hype of it, and definitely would go back. If you could change a couple things, you certainly would. But again, take a tough loss, 62-57. As we're joined with head coach Jay Drake, and Coach Drake. Now we get kind of into this sticky situation. You get ready to play Elk Point Jefferson on Tuesday, but you now have no school tomorrow. It's the weekend, and then you get Monday off for Martin Luther King Day. Explain us what's going to be happening here in the next 4 days, and how do we get ready for the Huskies?
Yeah, and our guys need rest. Jake with his ankle, he went down, he really gutted it out, and that's going to be sore all weekend long. But for him to play on that, coming back in the game. But obviously with no school tomorrow, our school board policy, we can't get in the gym. Probably give him the weekend off. So it's always scary as a coach, but need some rest. We just told our guys, come Sunday, this is counting days off and the weekends and the Christmas break. But come Sunday, we'll be finishing up it's the end of our 7th week. So we'll have been through 49 days in our season, okay, and we've played 7 games.
Yeah.
Okay, Monday will be day 50. We've played 7 games. Starting Tuesday, and we have this, in recent years, it's been the same thing. But starting Tuesday, we played 7 games in 50 days, and we're about to start Tuesday. We'll play 7 games in 15 days.
Wow.
So our guys have to understand, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday next week, come around Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday the following week, and then the following Tuesday. It's good. Kids like playing. It puts a lot of pressure for the coaches on scouting reports, trying to get film, watch everything, get game plans in. It limits us practice-wise. So some of the mistakes maybe we're making in the games here, now you got to kind of learn from game to game, hopefully improve them. Again, it's good for our kids. Even at the end, you want to win, especially when you battle back and get in that position at 55-55. You're thinking, hey, we might steal one out of here. But you can't always simulate these situations in practice too. So even game, they made a couple plays down the stretch. Next time, and it could be easily Tuesday night, we're in the same situation. Hopefully we can turn the tide on that one.
Let's build on this. Let's go get the Huskies on Tuesday. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ethan.
There he is, head coach Jay Drake, joining us here on the First Dakota National Bank post-game show, and going right off of what head coach Jay Drake has said so far this evening, with the heart and with the effort. Now, I can't say that enough. I mean, you could have packed this one in and put this one to bed at several different points. When Lennox got it up to 13, when Lennox got up to 11, it just seemed like they were going to put it away, but Vermillion battled back each time to draw it within close, or even, as he said, tied up at 55-55, and we now transition into our latte player of the game, and everything that head coach Jay Drake was talking about, the heart, the effort, it was all represented in one man. In fact, he was 1 rebound short of a double-double this night, but really got after it, including 3 steals in the basketball game. As I mentioned, 4 offensive boards, and a total of his 9 rebounds and 19 points the night. He went 7 of 12 from shooting. He also hit a couple big 3-pointers. Can't give enough credit to TJ Tracy, who's going to be our Latte Da player of the game. Before the snow moves in tomorrow, make sure you wake up with a great cup of coffee from Latte Da right across from the North Complex in Vermillion. Tell Sandy that we sent you her way. Once again, our final here in Lennox, 62-57, with the Orioles getting the win, and also the Vermillion girls making it 4 games in a row as they got the victory 53-34 earlier in game number 1 of our doubleheader. Before we leave you, as always, let's get to scores from across the state of South Dakota as we look inside the DAC-12 and also inside the region, and we'll maybe even take a look at a couple other big games. Tonight, Beersford got the win over Tri-Valley. This is in girls action, 58-57. It was the 3 seed getting the win over Crofton, Nebraska West Central, 61-59. Also, Sioux Falls Christian made a comeback and beat T Area 55-48. That's once again in girls action. On the boys side, inside the DAC-12 and Region 4 as well, Dakota Valley took down Hardington Cedar Catholic 65-43. Dakota Valley, the number 1 team in Class A, remains undefeated. Also, the 5 seed Flandreau, I should say, the number 5 team ranking, Flandreau got the win over Madison 54-40. Also, with 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter, about to go final, Tri-Valley is leading it over Beersford, 47-44. And that is a look at scores from across the state of South Dakota. Well, it certainly has been a very busy schedule for us with ESPN Radio and Vermillion Streaming. And that being said, we are also going to take the next couple of days off to ourselves, recharge up the batteries, but we will see you back home, hopefully inside the birdcage, as we have a doubleheader on our hands. The Vermillion boys and girls take on the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, and another DAC-12 Region 4 opponent with a lot of implications for both the boys and the girls on the line when it comes to seeding. Right now, the Elk Point Jefferson Husky girls right in the middle of the road inside the Region 4, whereas the Elk Point Jefferson Husky boys currently find themselves right behind Vermillion in the standings. But after tonight, things could shuffle up even more, and look forward to 2 exciting games on Tuesday. Pre-game coverage begins right around 6 o'clock. A big thank you to our video producer for this evening, Jen Ashley. I'm Heath Namke. You've been listening to Vermillion Basketball on Vermillion Streaming. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening.